Heidi ho, let me say it again. Hey, Heidi ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 518. Playoff victory number 2, the first time in history. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. I am your dashing playoff winning host, Chris, and with me is my equally dashing, equally playoff winning co-host and good friend, Ash the Man Thompson. How you doing, Mr. Tweetson?
Well, it's a mediocre friend, but I could get used to these playoff wins, man.
Anybody in a Lions jersey right now is my best motherfucking friend, brother. You all get hugs. You get hugs, and you get hugs, and you get hugs. You all get hugs.
100% correct.
Amen.
Man, that was crazy. Frank Ragnow, man. Frank freaking Ragnow. Since I'm trying not to demonetize this real super early this time. No F-bombs for at least 5 minutes. Anyway.
Remind me, thank you.
Man, that's the jersey I'm getting, man. That's 100%. That guy, what he did today, like in terms of being as broken as he is, and just vita vea, man. Like that's a tough out, and he did it. He just got it done.
He did.
Someone in the chat said I'm crying. I'm not crying.
I'm willing to.
I'm just squinting.
Jared Godf. I told you folks in the beginning. Oh, God, I love it. Ragnow, definitely the catalyst. You talk about grit, that's it. But we'll get to it. We got a big show. Lots to talk about. Talk about the game. We're going to cover Coach Campbell's post-game presser. Whoever else gets on there, we'll grab them, throw them on the presser as well. We'll take your calls like we did. And besides Frank Ragnow, we also have another Frank the Tank. We just might reach out to him just to do a welfare check. We'll talk about that. Probably the best call we've ever had on the show last week.
No, probably. This just was the best call we've ever had on the show.
Love that, man. We got a great show lined up. Ash, are you ready to go, my brother?
Let's get it on.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
Attention, all neighbors. I'm officially done with pants. Enjoy tent season. I love it. Please like, subscribe, hit all those things for us. Please do that as we get going right now. Love it. Okay, let's get into this. Ash, the Lions played a football game today, and they played
That's true.
They played a first half that was.
Jeez. Let's just call it what it was. That was well, okay.
Slow start.
It was
good middle.
8/10 of a good first half.
Slow start
because like
good middle.
This was a tough out,
bad end.
And then at the end that just they blew everything they had built in the first half. Like they were dominating for most of that first half. Bluntly, like the Bucs weren't doing anything until that last drive when they finally figured out that Cam Sutton can't cover Hall of Fame wide receivers. But like Lions fans, we've known that all year. You give him like normal guys, he's fine. You give him Mike Evans, you've got problems. You know what I mean? Like that's, I'd say I think we can come down now, like 19 games in. That's what we have in Cam Sutton. You got some regular schmuck. He's great. You got a legitimate wide receiver one. Maybe you don't leave him in single coverage on that guy if you can avoid it. But when you're blitzing, that's what happens. You know what I mean? And they did have to blitz today to get pressure a lot of the time. So was what it was.
Yeah, it was. I will tell you on that last bit of that last drive that the Bucs had, Mrs. DLP will vouch. I said, this is going to be interception Kirby. That's how these all end. That's how it's going to happen. Barnes did his best Mike Evans impersonation, except if Mike Evans had hands. My God, that stretch, that's the soft little mitts they used to pull that thing in. Beautiful. Derek Barnes, Purdue product, intended receiver to turn that game around and seal the win and victory formation for these Detroit Lions. Man, that was
first interception of his career, brother. First one. Timing. All about timing. Came up huge.
Yep. I loved it. I loved all of this game. Look, there was tense parts. I have people from all over the country texting me throughout. I dropped my phone and blew apart the case. I got to head over another one. It was just in certain celebrations along the way. It was an outrageous game. And the Detroit Lions came through. The Ford Field crowd. Well, I was talking to somebody there. They asked, how was it on TV? I was like, it seems a little quieter than last time. I'm not sure if TV's muted it. And I said, oh, there's a lot of old people here.
Yeah, that's the thing when the price goes up. You know what I mean? That's sadly, the super excited young folks can't swing a $1,200 ticket to sit in the nosebleeds.
Donkey Kong. I want to just take this moment in history because Donkey Kong is one of the perennial negatory folks in the chat. He's just got high standards, right? Jared fucking Goff needs a statue. Donkey. This is, I'm telling you, the Jared Goff story. I just felt it. I saw how it fit. I saw what they were doing. I just knew he was gonna. I mean, everybody was talking shit. I'm like, nah, I don't know. Too early. I'm not. No. And now even Donkey Kong wants to build a fucking statue. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. His fiance, I believe. I don't think he's been married yet. I think that's probably this offseason. Kristen had a sweet post on Instagram. I don't know if anyone saw it. It was the folks cheering Jared Goff. They give a hug, a kiss on the sidelines, and then what she wrote at the bottom. It was always Detroit, the heart. Like, just nailed it, man. Just nailed it. Mutual love. William, checking in from Kenya, going to sleep, but holy cannoli, that was a game. On to San Francisco. This team, wow. Niners without Debo are gettable. 100%. We match up well against the Niners. I'm very, this game, holy
I'm excited,
smokes,
man.
Folks.
I'm so excited. I'm real damn excited about this game.
Holy smokes, folks.
That secondary is not all that good in San Francisco now. So
no. Shout out from Sweden. We've got Marcus Westmark. Sorry. Shout out from Sweden. Since my boy Otto was born on December 18th, the Lions are undefeated. If you're not counting Brad Allen, no, we're not counting Brad Allen. We don't. we don't count him. Oh God. Lions gonna put a ring on Goff before his fiance does. I hope so. Oh God, I hope so.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that's like the precursor? Like somebody put that. Look, if the Lions win a ring, I'll get you one. Like you think.
Yep.
Oh my God.
If you're out there and you said that, don't do it, bro. Because if you put that level of qualifications on it, she's not the one. Don't do it. Let her go find somebody, bro.
They won. This is 2 playoff games historically never been done by these Detroit Lions, by any Detroit Lions. They have never won 2 games in the playoffs. Championship game, still 2 away, still more history to be written. The words I think we say are they're playing with house money. They've exceeded expectations. They get the maximum bonus this year. This team is just, and I'm going to tell you something just about this team and about sports and life. I'll just say in life in general, the idea of grit, as Dan Campbell calls it, is a difference maker. It is an absolute difference maker. And I've seen research 100%. On it, and I'm actually deep into a book on this right now. And I'll talk a little bit more about this as well. But the students who perform at West Point, people who perform and don't drop out at West Point, those folks score super high on the grit scale. The whole concept of what these guys are building and how they've built it and the thought process of what they're doing is well thought out, actually, and it's actually well researched and well documented. You look at those players on the field, and I don't see the best team in the NFL when you think about individual pieces of talent. You look at Philadelphia, one of, if not the best teams on the field when it comes to individual pieces of talent. But the 2 things, the team mentality, and that grit, those are the difference makers. That's why the Detroit Lions have won their 2nd playoff game and Philadelphia is out. That's the difference between those two teams. Even with the talent difference they had. Amazing. And again, we can in our lives learn things from sports. That grit, that means some real shit, man. And what they're doing is right on point. You can overcome all kinds of deficits. Just never ever give up. Oh God, I love it.
That's exactly it. Like in teaching, like the student who keeps trying is the one that gets good grades, not naturally gifted. Naturally gifted is basically BS. You know what I mean? Like there are people who are a little bit better at things than other people, certain type of stuff. But when it comes right down to it, if you want to get results, it's the person who keeps working that gets them more often.
Yep. The person who doesn't flip to the next thing and get bored with that thing or just give up, or it's not even just giving up, right? It's just like, I didn't want it that much. When they talk about people who love football, those are people that have grit for football, because football's hard. There's practice in the rain. There's injury. There's all kinds of stuff. There's real early mornings. There's all kinds of bullshit in football before you'll ever see $1 out of it. And you have to have a whole ton of grit. And then to be one of those special cats that makes it to the NFL.
Yeah.
That's the difference maker, man. God,
and
love
then,
it.
Yeah. And then to be on that scale, on the 1% of the 1%, you're part of that 30% that does actually still have that characteristic. You know what I mean? Like that's some, as I'm going through draft stuff here, because we're coming up on that season, so I got to at least know the Senior Bowl guys' names. But so they'd like looking at that, like you just see some guys, you're like, oh, that is a Lions guy, and then you see other guys, and you're like, nope, that guy just laid a run fit out of the corner. There's absolutely they're not even going to look at him after that. Like, that's it. They're done. Scout complete.
Brothers, we're going to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, man.
The NFC Championship game. Those Dallas Cowboys haven't sniffed that in 20 years. The America's team, those great Cowboys. They haven't been there in ages. We're here at the...
Let's just be North America's team. Let's take over Canada and Mexico.
Let's just go world team all the way. It's a time. We're a global economy nowadays. Let's just own this. All right. We're waiting for the pressers to start. There's probably some celebration going on in the field, and we'll get as soon as Campbell's on, we'll go with it. Ash, talk about the game. Talk about what did you see that was the difference between the Bucs and the Lions out there today? Because it was a close game for a long time until the end, and something is what tripped that. What was that in your eyes?
That is a tough one. But I'm going to go with it's the difference between Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? And it is that one of those two guys plays within himself, plays within what he can do 99% of the time. Every once in a while he tries to do something stupid like last week with his fumble. But 99% of the time, like, Jared Goff knows exactly what he can and can't do. You know what I mean? And what he can do, as was said by Dan Campbell last week, is enough. And the thing is, like, I think Baker Mayfield has enough too, because he has pretty much all the same stuff Jared Goff has, but he tries to do more, if that makes sense. Like, he's trying to make that Patrick Mahomes throw. He's trying to make that Matt Stafford, that Brett Favre play. And he has the mentality, but not the physical ability.
Yes.
For that kind of stuff. And it's only when Goff steps outside of his own physical skill set that we start to see things we don't really like. And they have him absolutely nailed in right now. And I think, like, that message after the game last week, like, Jared Goff is enough. I don't know if he's ever actually, realized that previously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's been trying to match up with all these other guys and do all these other things. And, like, you can build a great offense within the capabilities of Jared Goff. It's not like there are a lot of things he can't do. You know what I mean? He's just not going to, off his back foot, throw the ball 70 yards. But frankly, if that's the basis of your offense, you got what the Bucs just got, as opposed to what we just got. if that makes sense.
Yep. I think one of the big pieces that made the difference for these Detroit Lions today was the O-line. Frank Ragnow is. I'll tell you the other thing. I'll tell you something else. I don't think we're going to see Jonah back. I don't. And it goes to the grit. Go ahead.
I'd be surprised if we saw Frank next week too. You know what I mean? Like that.
I'm talking about another contract. I'm talking about another contract.
Oh, back? No, yeah, no, absolutely not. I've been saying that for a year and a half at this point. I got yelled at by coach's wife on Twitter saying that Jonah wasn't coming back. But
it's a great thing. He Frank is out there.
He was not anywhere near as injured as Frank, and Frank has to do more, and Frank's on the field. You know what I mean? Like,
so folks know he's had an offer on the table since preseason.
Who, Jonah?
Yep.
Oh.
He just
that's great.
He wants more. And you want more, go out and play. Earn it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like right now, it's like his value on the market has absolutely tanked this year relative to what it would have been at the beginning of the preseason. Like, he's going to take one look. Like that's the thing. He might sign that deal 3 days before free agency opens when his agent actually goes out and sees what's actually there, and it's $3 million less. You know what I mean? But it might also be a Jamal Williams thing where he's like, nope, I'm a $16 million guard. And it's like, well, the league says you're
That's
a
it.
5.
That's it. And this year,
and we were offering you 8.
Yeah. That's you're exactly. About right there. You've about zeroed right in on what's going on. And it's too bad. It's too bad because he's good. It's but especially
if he'd
now.
Sign a $9 million a year deal tomorrow, I'd sign him for 6. finish that career here at that value. You know what I mean? But like it just
you got to go out and finish in a game like today.
Yep.
You don't not go out there, especially when Frank is out there. The optics are just oof, man, oof. Yeah. One more kneecap to grab. Yeah, NBC's put up the Lions losing streaks versus the Niners, and on the road in the playoffs, one more kneecap to grab. That's right, and then smile.
Just keep shoveling.
Yep.
Just keep shoveling it on us, boys. Yep. You know what I mean? That's exactly what we want. I was a little afraid on this one that they might not have the right mentality going in, just because people were saying too many nice things, and we've seen that happen a couple times this year where it did. At least that was the appearance going into like Baltimore. You know what I mean? Is like it. If you didn't actually watch that game and see that it was just like, okay, well, by the time they got their third possession, they were down 21 points and that game was over.
Yeah.
They had 2 bad drives and the game was done.
Yeah. 100%. I knew, like, my thing. So number one, the confidence that Bowles and Mayfield had this week was a little bit unnerving, actually. Yep. I mean, for me, I was like, how are they so confident? That's pretty fucking ballsy. What do they know that I don't? And then the other side
just
was
who Baker is.
Well, I know. But Bowles isn't that, you know what I mean? And that was weird. And then the other thing, 2 more things. The other thing is the hangover, the football hangover that I felt, and I wasn't even there, right? Fans in the stadium, I was nervous that they weren't going to be as loud. They didn't sound as loud. And I don't know if, they've been, NBC's been in the stadium now 2 weeks in a row, so they may have learned something about the crowd. I was a little nervous. They certainly amped it up at the end there, 100%. But a little bit of hangover for them, and a little bit of hangover for the players, right? It was really emotional to shake that monkey off the back and get that first playoff win. It's like, whew, that was kind of the goal. Yep. Holy shit! Now there's more to do, and people so often fall flat after something like that. This was our chance. Yep. It's almost like a trap game kind of thing. This was our chance to have that kind of a failure, and they didn't. They pulled it together and they pulled through, which I feel like means they're going to be surging next week, and they're going to be in really, because again, they came into this as kind of favorites. They didn't have that underdog mentality. That was the third point I was going to make. They work well as underdogs, and now they've got exactly what they wanted. Beating Green Bay at home would have been fantastic as far as dragon slaying and storylines and all that kind of stuff. On the other side, losing to Green Bay at home and having them that would have been just a heartbreaker, right? So take that off the table. We're going to San Fran. We're the underdog. We match up really well against these guys. I like this. Getting through this week was a big freaking deal. It was a big deal for the Detroit Lions, and they did it. Great job, Detroit Lions. Great job. Good teams win, and great teams cover, baby. From Prison Mike. Oh, man.
Very true.
Yeah. Jameson Hennessy, who is we got Dan Campbell on. Let's get the pressure going.
We knew it was going to come down to the end. Baker, I thought, played really well. I got a ton of respect for Coach Bowles and what he's done. We knew that was a tough team. That was somewhat a mirror image of us. So we delivered body blows, and ultimately we did what we had to do to win that game. But I mean, there's nothing easy about it, and to be able to win in the playoffs and do what we did, that group of guys, we get guys like Frank, man, battling for the injury, get back out there and help us win a game. It just, it speaks volumes to the type of guys we got and the character. And, Derek Barnes comes away with a huge pick there at the end, game on the line. And, I thought our defense played outstanding. We gave up a couple of things, but ultimately, man, we did what we had to do, 2 takeaways. And offensively, we knew we had to be patient against that defense. And it paid dividends in the second half. So, really proud of everybody that's a part of this.
What did change offensively midway through the third quarter, whatever? You just scored press on effort, not moving the ball right for the first 2.5 quarters.
We knew we needed to come out and throw it against this team. We need to be a bit efficient with the pass, see if we get some explosives. We weren't able to do that. Second half we were, and then we were able to lean on the run a little bit. Once we felt like maybe we could loosen them up, and Gibbs breaks one there at the end. So those were pivotal for us. But ultimately we knew it was going to be that type of game, and it was, and that's playoff football.
Obviously, you don't care where the play comes from, but for it to come for Derek Barnes, a guy that's really fought to carve out a role for his team. What does that mean to you as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of Derek. Derek, he's one of our guys that we drafted in his first year here, and he was a later bloomer guy. It took him a little bit, and then he really came on this season. And he's playing at a high level, and just to see him, one of the biggest areas he's grown at, not only just being able to his level of play on defense, but his psyche. Something bad happens, something doesn't quite go the way you want it to, man, he's able to bounce back in a big way, and it doesn't affect him negatively, man. He keeps going. That's where I feel the most growth, and it's why he's playing at a high level. But that was what a huge play.
Okay, I know you probably don't know, but it's 3 years today where you had your introductory press conference and you came in, you set your expectations. For you to leave your imprint on this team the way you have, man. I know you haven't had time to reflect on it, but just over this span, man, being able to do what you're able to do and capture this position that you're in right now.
Yeah, look, I got a lot of really, really outstanding people around me, all right? And I'm fortunate. And it takes a village, and without everybody involved, without Brad Holmes, without Sheila, Rod, Chris Spillman, without Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Dave Phipp, I mean, you don't, I'm fortunate.
Could you have imagined this 3 years ago to be 1 win away from the Super Bowl, today?
I envisioned that we would have a chance to compete with the big boys, and that's where we're at.
That's what he said.
All you got to do is get in.
Wins or losses.
And it's about placing yourself the very best position to where you can move. You get a home game, and then maybe you get a second home game, and now all of a sudden it gets a little easier. If you're able to get a 1 seed, you only got to win 2 games, right? And so that's always the objective. But ultimately, once you get in, then it's about matchups, and you find a way to win. And you may have to win 2-0, and it's okay. It's okay. A win's a win in the playoffs. So, here we are. And now we get to go to San Francisco, and, we know what kind of team that is, but we're in a great position. We've got a great opportunity.
Dan, can you at all share some of the emotions since you knew you won this game over the last 10, 15 minutes, just the zillion thoughts going through your head?
I'm exhausted. I didn't even play, so.
Me too, brother. Me too.
All that. Initially, though, there was kind of like, what if the Lions hired this guy? You hear that
You're probably one of them. To each his own. We're going to the NFC Championship game with that group of guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and they love football. They play football, and that's what they respect. And they respect their teammates, and not anything else. And you know, when you're able to, you know, to care more about the person next to you than your own, you know, about yourself, you can do some pretty special things, and that's where we're at with this group.
Dan, on one of your biggest gotta have it plays of the season, 4th and 1, you went to Craig Reynolds. That I say unexpected move, I guess, from the outside. Why Craig in that moment? And again, what it mean for him to deliver?
I was curious.
Yeah,
about
he
that.
was in that package. So, I mean, just look, we got a lot of faith in Craig. Craig's a good downhill runner, and it was kind of what we had packaged for him. So it wasn't, you know, it's just one of those things. It wasn't. I wouldn't read anything into it. It's just, if you're asking if we trust Craig, yes, we do trust Craig Reynolds. You know, I mean, so heck of a run. It was well blocked too. Those guys surged up front. It was just all the way around, really good.
I was going to say, you mentioned right now early, he had to keep blocking that play. I don't know
Yeah.
what he was fighting through, how much pain he was in. He saw trainers come over to him so many times when he went off. So just to make the block that he did and to play through what he did today for you guys.
Frank's a stud. You know, that's what he does, and he's willing to lay it on the line, and he's not going to miss it. You know, he's gonna if we talk about it all the time, but it's like, man, you know, you may not be 100%, but if you feel like you can produce, you can win at 80% of yourself, and that's what Frank does. You know, he believes he can, and he trusts himself, and he trusts those guys next to him, and it's just there's nothing easy about that. Not everybody can do it, and that's okay, you know, but he can, and he helped us win today.
Good knob and fun festival.
Passing game is going now. Do you feel like at some point you're going to have a burst like you did in the second half like that? Like it always seems like it's just waiting for one of those 60-yard drives to take 5 big passes.
Yeah, I think we know it's, you know, we know if we're not quite there, it's coming. It'll come, you know, and that dam will burst. We just gotta continue to harp on the little things, clean up, you know, a few things here and there, and but it'll come. We always feel that way, and I think, you know, there's a lot of trust in that regard. I think Ben did a hell of a job calling the game, you know, and those guys held on, and you know, Goff fourth quarter he really showed up there, you know, and made some big throws, and we knew we needed to throw the ball to move it today. That was, you know, we went out there to Tampa, and you know, I've said this before. It was like swinging a sledgehammer against a steel door. I mean, we're just over and over and over, and so we knew we needed to loosen them up before we started to run it, and we did that.
Yeah, sometimes teams Brad and Justin try to build our team like our city, and it could become an ugly cliche. 3 years into this thing, where do you stand now? How were you able to really embody a city that's been creating something like this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I quite understand the question.
Like everyone always talks about the grit and the
Yeah.
spirit of the city and trying to embody the blue collar work ethic.
Well, I think it's important, right? I mean, you can't.
See, these
I
guys
don't
don't
know
read
if it's,
anything.
you know, it's not the first thing you think of if you go to L.A. or just in general, right? You got the sun, you got the beach, you got plenty of other things going on. And here, man, it's harsh winters, right? Auto industry, blue collar, things aren't always easy. And I just think that's, you know, that's what we're about. And that was, you know, you want something the city can be proud of. Though you can look at those guys and say, man, I can back that guy. I can back that team. You know, I can resonate with those group of guys. You know, they're kind of salty. You know, they don't quit. They play hard. And so I feel like we've done that. And I think these guys, you know, they have a kinship with this city and this area. And they love it, man. And ultimately, that's what you want. Now, you know, a year from now, 2 years, we'll be getting booed maybe. That's a whole nother deal, though. But right now, life's good. And I'm glad we could deliver that.
Never get when a guy can't finish, so is there an early update on Jonah and then what's thought of Yodi stepping in there?
Yeah, I thought Yodi stepped up. That was good to see. I mean, heck, we went right in there, and I think we had a 5-step drop first play out of the gate, and he just went in there and did really good. So, Yode's continued to get better really over the last 2 years. He's just kind of grown and grown. And, he last time we played Tampa, he was in there for us. So, but I thought he did some really good things. Jonah and Brock, we'll see. Doesn't look real good for next week, but we'll see.
Dan, a lot of young players are counted on this team for you to win, guys with no playoff experience whatsoever. Now they've got 2 games under their belt, and they've won it in pretty dramatic fashion, the first game and this game here. How much do you think that experience is going to help these guys going forward? Because now you're going up against a team with a great deal of playoff experience on the road.
Yeah, I think every time you're in it, especially now that you're in this one season right now, and last week there was, there's a little bit of nerves and the environment, the setting, there's a little bit of pressure, but I felt like we've handled pressure really well all year, and so you get through that when you get this one, and we've been able to just stay focused on the one in front of us, and so it's not as big of a deal, I think, as people may, place on it. We got enough veterans here that know what it looks like, coaches, and our young guys have adapted. And really, we've kept a one-game mindset. Like, here we go. This is the one right in front of us. And just like we did all year, you win 12 games, you had to prepare a certain way. You had to do things a certain way in the game. You take care of the football, you get takeaways, and we do that again. You keep it that simple. If you start really honing in on everything that you've accomplished or what you've done or the magnitude of the game, well, that's where issues begin to arise. So we've been good.
All right.
All right, there we go. Little Dan Campbell presser. I have something, as Dan Campbell talks about all the people and what they mean to this team. There was somebody on the field saying something similarly complimentary about him. I'm going to play that. Just a quick 7-second clip here from Frank Ragnow. And it didn't play through, did it?
No, I did not hear that.
Dang it. I'm not sure how to. Okay. Well, he says he's the best leader I've ever been around by far. Just authentically loves his guys. Same guy every single day. About Dan Campbell from Frank Ragnow. They're probably talking at the same time about each other. Ships passing in the night. So there you go. With that being said, I can hear it. I just don't know how to get it through there. Okay, I'll deal with that later. So, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yep. Okay, we'll leave that be. We'll figure it out later. Anyway, Frank Ragnow saying some wonderfully kind and great things about the coach. We've got also another Frank Tank that we talked to last week. Best call ever. Wildest call ever on one of our post-game shows. Frank the Tank from Malone's. We heard a lot from him. I talked to him, and during the week, we're going to do a welfare check on him right now just to make sure that we can make something work out with him. We'll turn on we'll get the go in a second. Hold on, folks. Okay, here we go. See if we can get Frank.
Hello?
Frank the Tank.
Frank.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
Patching up my wounds, man. I'm good.
All right.
Have we had any drinks today, Frank?
What's your guys' logo?
Well,
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, now it's 0 to Frank. Where you at?
Last time I had a big bottle. This time I got like 5 small bottles.
Okay.
Okay.
And I got one for us because I'm saving the 5th one to do a shot.
All right. So, Frank,
okay.
What was your favorite part of the game out there today, brother?
Dude, him with Barnes and Craig Reynolds, put him in that package, 4th down and 1. That was sick, man.
Oof.
That was sick.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That shows you how much that he believes, dude. Even in the press conference, he's all telling everybody, you got to believe. Man, you got to freaking believe. Dude, that team believes, man. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah.
You know,
so, were you at Malone's today? I saw that Malone's was opening up for the Lions game.
Yeah, you see that shit, dude? And I wasn't working. Hell no, I ain't working. Dude, I'm my job before I do that.
That's good. I'm glad they didn't take away your day off, man.
I could work at Big Boys or something, man. Damn, they just went up down the street. I'm serious, man. You know.
Well, Frank, there was a lot of people that were worried about you last week. A lot of people, a lot of love for Frank the Tank. I mean, there was a lot to it.
I know your voice. I'm telling you. I was at Ritz, man, in like 88, 86 or something. Were you there?
Yeah.
DJing or something?
Yeah, late 80s. I was DJing at the Ritz, underage, drinking.
I know that voice, man. That's what you called me, and I know that voice, man.
I loved it out there, man. Bittersweet Alley, the Almighty Strut. Those were the days. Those were the days in Detroit.
My sister married the guitar player from what were they called? Hearts. Back in the day.
Yeah.
That band. You know what I mean? So that's all. I just do that voice. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. My bad.
No, that's good. Well, we just want to check in on you, and I told you when I checked in on you earlier this week, we got a shirt, we got a Sweet New Zero to Frank shirt that's in our store. How do you like it?
Way better looking than me. Way better looking than me. How, you know what I mean? You could have made his nose a little bit smaller. Come on.
It was a visual representation of an audio call. You know, what are you gonna do?
That was deep, man. Man, I called, man, and I never called. Shit, I never went for no tickets or nothing, man. I'm sitting here, like I said, I wrote that number down. In softball, I remember that shit, man. Back in the day, man, everybody's always made fun of my lines, dude. Always. Even the first two people that called me today after the game was over was my two sons.
Yeah.
Because they live with me, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They live.
Yep.
They were happy as hell, man. The one, you know what I mean? I told you what happened to the one, you know, and I was true about that. I wasn't lying, you know. One thing about Franks, we don't lie, man.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? Don't lie. You can't lie. You know?
Yep. Hey, Frank, I just want to tell everyone to get over to Malone's. It's on Van Dyke and Warren. Say hey to Frank. Yeah.
I want to to say Van Dyke Avenue.
Van Dyke Avenue in Warren, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, so get down there, buy Frank a drink. Also, we're going to take a couple of bucks from all the Frank the Tank shirts. We're going to send it over. We're going to set up a bar tab for Frank at Malone's so he can, after work, park up, have a drink. Maybe before work, park up, have a drink. On us, just for being such a great sport and great call, man. It's been a lot of fun. Frank, we're going to call you a couple times. We're going to check in with you throughout the year. All right, brother?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. And we're going to be in town for the draft. We're going to do a little draft party. Maybe we'll get you. Say what?
Are we online?
Yeah, we're live. We're live, bro. We're live right now.
Shot.
Yeah, this is
shot.
happening.
I've been waiting. Daniel's right here.
All right, do the shot. Do the shot.
Do your shot, buddy.
Do a shot, bro. Okay? This is to all the Lion fans. And who's got it better than Detroit Lion fans?
Nobody.
Yes, sir. Number 7. Don't tell Derek said that.
All right, Frank. Everyone, and we got him in the chat. They love
Keep
you.
Up the good work, man.
Thank you, brother.
Keep up the good work. You can never go wrong with Frank.
Yeah, Frank,
What's
and
the
Frank.
best thing? Frank, what is the best thing on the menu at Malone's?
Best thing on the menu at Malone is the Louisiana burger or the Dublin burger. If you like, we got the best burgers in town because Frank's on the grill.
There you go.
That's what I'm getting. That is what I'm getting.
Well done. Please tell me you want it well done because it's not coming out well done. It's going to be juicy and nice and red. I cook everything nice and medium and juicy. I'm not squeezing nothing down.
Thank you, sir.
All right, brother. Be good. Good to hear from you, Frank. Great. Glad you're healthy, wealthy, and wise right now. We'll check in with you again. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right,
guys,
brother.
peace. Go Lions.
Go Lions, man.
Go Lions.
All right. Let's just pull him right in right now. Hey, caller, what's your name and where you at? 0 to Frank.
My name is Matt. I used to be in Seattle, but now I'm in Minnesota, and I'm probably 75% Frank.
Okay, then. There you go.
All right, here we go. I didn't believe you until that laugh, my friend. I do now.
Yes.
It was always laugh. So how's it feel, man? How's it feel?
Dude, I'm going to go full. I don't know what's going on. Like, I am fucking 53 years old.
Oh, wait. Hold with me. We gotta get over here.
Oh, I'll be quiet.
Stay with us,
Frank Ragnow. You gotta change his name though.
How difficult was it to play through with what you were dealing with today?
I don't know. To me, the pain, I'm not trying to sound like some brute tough guy here, but I was just more frustrated than anything. The fact that it's just, again, but it was tough, but it was worth it.
What allows you to play through that pain? Other people can't, maybe.
My parents, I don't know. My dad was one of the toughest people I've ever met. My mom's one of the toughest people I've ever met. And I just take a lot of pride in being out there with the guys, being out there for the city. They signed me to this extension a few years ago, and I want to be fulfilling that, I don't want to be that guy who gets paid and not doing that stuff, I want to be out there and finding a way to win.
What about the practical? Being down on the ground, do you think you were going to be out for the game?
I wasn't even thinking about that. I just fucking hurt. Yeah.
Not long after you got hurt, they ran behind you on that fourth down play. Brad, can you walk us through that play?
Yeah, it's a duo play, pretty common play that we run a lot, and basically double team on each side, and then it was me and Vita Vea. So it's kind of just mano-a-mano right there.
Big human.
Very big human.
What are the practical mechanics? I mean, you got hurt. I think there was just one more snap, the kneel down, then you got the half pass. What went into the medical aspect of it to get you ready for the second half and that lull there?
Not to get into too many details, but basically the surgeon, the doctors evaluate to make sure it's obviously safe for me to be out there. And then our training staff, I know I've said this time and time again, but they're incredible. And they had a great wrap and tape job thing for me, and it worked out great.
You didn't pull up Kirby Joseph pops up?
No, I didn't. No.
You'll be available next week?
I don't think so, no. I'll be all right.
Can you put into words what this means to this organization to get to this point? I know you're not satisfied, but just where this place has been and now where you're at.
Yeah, it's incredible. You just reflect on, me specifically, my career and all the tough days and the frustrating seasons where I'm home by now already for 2 weeks, and to be here today when we're in victory formation and looking at the crowd it's hard to describe.
Kyle mentioned that run, Craig's touchdown. I think it was the same drive Brock Wright had the big long catch. Key situations when you guys lean on some guys that maybe a lot of people don't expect. What does that say about the confidence that you have in 1 to 53 on the roster?
Just studs everywhere, just unselfish guys that will put it all on the line for their team, and just pros that are always preparing like it's going to be their chance. And I just can't say enough about so many of those guys in the locker room. There's not many bad apples, just a great group of dudes that are ready to roll whenever their number's called.
A couple more guys. Have a balanced attack, and you're moving on to San Francisco. Just talk a little bit about that victory over Tampa.
Talk about Tampa?
The victory and just moving forward going into the
Yeah. Obviously, Tampa, that defense is one of the best defense we'll play all year. That front seven is incredible. We kind of knew going into it was going to be tough to run the ball, and we knew that we, as an offensive line, we were going to have to hold up. I don't know how many times Jared ended up passing it, but it felt like a lot to me. But we knew if we just kept on going and our defense played incredible, we'd find a way, and that's how it turned out.
We know the physical demands.
Last one, Justin.
The physical demands of this matchup with Vea and whatnot, but a lot was put into the mental component of this. Can you just explain what goes into the week of prepping for this team, what they show up front, and how difficult it is to decipher that down in and down out?
Yeah, Todd Bowles is one of the great defensive minds in this league, and he does a great job of mixing different personnel packages looking the same way, and then having different thing happens, if that makes sense. So I got to kind of diagnose what personnel they're in, and then realize from my film study throughout the season what blitzes they've brought out of this year from that personnel, and then kind of be aware, like, this personnel, they're doing something different, and then, trust your instincts with safety rotation and whatnot. So me and Jared are really kind of playing a chess game throughout the game, and it's a lot of fun. That's the part of the game that I really love, is just trying to diagnose what he's trying to throw at us.
Thanks, guys.
Huh? Yeah, just like that.
There you go.
Man,
Woo!
you can really tell which reporters know anything about football right there. That was an A+ question at the end after a bunch of like solid D minuses.
Justin, man. Justin is the dude.
Yep.
He's always the
He
dude.
absolutely is.
All right, they're all right there, Minnesota. Tell us what you got going on up there in Bemidji.
Don't you do that to me there. That's a nice one. Because I lived in the UP for a while there, don't you know? Anyway.
Okay then.
Moving
Okay,
on. Grew up in Traverse City, lived in the UP. But I don't know. We're not going to do this. Had way too much to drink to do this. Ash, first thing I want to tell you is shut the F up, because I love you. You have single-handedly made my understanding of football better. Chris, I love you for rekindling my fan, like whatever being a fan is, because you're awesome. And like I was saying, I'm 53. I cannot fucking believe that they won 2 home playoff games in my life in one season. I can't believe it.
I don't understand this.
Beside myself. Like, this team I love this team. As soon as Sheila took over, I knew it was going to be a thing. I was like, she just has a different vibe. And look what happened.
You know what's funny? I bet we're not going to find a single person that's going to admit to booing Sheila.
That's because they all suck. They're worthless and weak. Anyway, I don't have a lot of content to add other than I love you guys. I love this team. I love the Slack. Everybody's amazing. They call me out. They call people out. It's great to be a positive Lions fan amidst like the flurry of whatever it's been like the last 40 years before this. But it's worth it.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming. And we talked a little bit about it when the Wings did it in 97. The weight.
And doing it again, by the way.
Yeah. The weight that lifted, it was like 43 years at that point that they had gone. And it was, I remember I saw a kid I worked with was standing in an intersection of all places, swinging a broom because we swept them right in the playoffs. And I'm like, bro, like, okay, there's so many things wrong with this right now. But that was the level. He was the version of Frank I knew at the time, right?
Frank's amazing, by the way.
But there's an element of celebration that comes, and like we got another one at the podium. Hey, we're gonna go. We got golf at the podium, brother. I'm gonna let you go. Okay.
All right, dude.
Thank you, man.
Have a great night.
All right, you too. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I thought that defense, deserves a ton of credit what they've done all year. And the first time we played them wasn't easy, and this time wasn't easy at all either. And it kind of took until then to kind of break the game open in a way. And they're stingy, man. They're really stingy. And we started to be able to move the ball there a little bit in the fourth quarter. And that final touchdown drive there was big.
Yeah. Just get some thoughts on how you were able to accomplish this.
Oh, that would be hard to do in this setting. But I think it's a credit to all the guys in there. We've said this a million times about how it's the same group. It's not like we've added a ton. It's a lot of the same guys, and Brad and Dan have been very intentional about bringing in those type of guys who can handle moments like today and moments like last week and ups and downs of a season. And I think it's all been intentionally done by them, and we're not here by accident.
You kind of had an inverse game plan today in the setting, the pass, setting up the run.
Yeah.
Just wondering, that's your bread and butter, right? You set up the run, set up the play action. How difficult is it to come out throwing against a defense that brings pressure like they do?
Yeah, we kind of had planned to do that because of what they present up front at times in the run game, and so we knew we had to try to get after them in the pass game, and I knew Ben would be aggressive, and I was ready for it. I thought early on it was difficult, and they were doing a good job, but we settled in nicely as the game went on.
When you're in your victory formation, do you give yourself a chance at all to kind of soak up the atmosphere and feel it for a moment?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it, and knew it'd be our last one in front of our home fans this year, and took it all in. And those guys are, mean a lot to us as a team, and we're really impressed with today.
This kid's good enough for Detroit.
right
Yep.
out, you're gonna out right in front of you, or at least hit one of them. The old line that you have, the
Yeah.
that they have, and for him to be celebrated just as much as you
Yeah.
ran out there, can you just explain what that group means to you?
Yeah, he should be. He should be. He's fought through a whole hell of a lot that a lot of people don't even know what he's fought through physically, and yeah, to get himself here, and yeah, not just him, but Taylor, obviously, Jonah. Unfortunate to miss him, but I thought Yodi stepped in great. Graham's played really well, and so has Panay, obviously. And so yeah, it's been such a great group, and we've relied on them all year, and I'm certainly, telling myself how lucky I am to play behind them every week.
What sort of spark did Gibbs give you on that touchdown drive?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it was huge. I can't remember how many times we threw it to him, but the run, certainly. That's one of the top red zone defenses in the league, so anytime you can score outside the red zone, it makes your drive a whole lot easier, and he just took it in there from, I don't know, maybe 30. I'm not sure how far out that was, but it was a great run.
Speaking of relying on people, you get credit, start the credit, Frank and such, but when people like Craig Reynolds, when you can
Yeah.
rely on him, when Derek Barnes, it feels like
Yep.
that big guys who want to start. What does it mean to you guys as players, as a team, to be able to know and rely on people who aren't necessarily the
Sure. Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to kind of what I was saying of everyone's brought in here for a reason. And, Barnes and Craig are a perfect example of guys that haven't had the necessarily flash plays all year, but, they've been kind of waiting in the weeds for their chance and practice hard and do everything right and show up on time and continue to do everything right for moments like that. And happy for those guys, man. They deserve it just as much as anyone else and have played well.
Can you reflect on how much time the offensive line gave you, much of the day to, throw?
Yeah, they did a great job. That's a really good D line. Vita Vea is as good as it gets in the middle there, and those edge rushers are no joke either. So, yeah, our line protected me well and made it pretty easy for me.
Can you comment on the Jared Goff chant, which is apparently on a regular thing
Yeah.
now? What does that mean to you, especially the second week around? Last week was going to be a thing with Matthew. Now it just seems to be a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's awesome. It really is cool for me, and I said it last week. I said something I'll probably never experience again, and I kind of experienced it again today. So yeah, those fans are special, near and dear to my heart, and mean a ton to me. The support, and not just for me though, but for our whole team, and yeah, experiencing that is cool.
Along those lines, what does it mean for you just personally to get back to the championship game, Jared?
Yeah.
Have one game away from another Super Bowl chance.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. We joking after the game. Ironically, the last time a lot of us played in it was against each other. It was me, at the Rams against Dan with the Saints. Anzalone was there. Aaron Glenn was there. Yeah, so it's exciting, and not just for me, but for our whole team. And it's something that we've it's not. I don't want to say like this arrogantly, but we expected to win the first game. We expected to win this game, and now we get to go to a game we expected to be in against a really good team at their place, and we're going to come into it expecting to win. It'll be a tough game, but it'll be fun.
Jared, one thing Coach Campbell was asked about was how today's the 3-year anniversary of his introductory press conference, and I know that the job is not finished in your eyes, but 3 years later, for you guys to be in this position, when a lot of people have doubts about your head coach, about you, about this team,
Yeah.
how does this moment feel?
Oh man, it feels pretty good. Dan's the greatest leader I've been around, and has cultivated this culture we have, and our belief in each other pretty significantly. And yeah, you think about the dark times there early on in 2021. A lot of people calling for his head. A lot of people in this room calling for his head. And it's pretty good to be able to sit up here and be able to play in the NFC Championship. And yeah, it feels good.
A couple more guys.
Marin Catholic, what would you say? Sorry? Yep. Yeah, it's awesome. That's what was my high school. So yeah, I guess maybe you're asking about going back to the Bay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your whole question, but.
Since it kind of started all there for you, leading them to a sectional and
Yes, yeah, sorry. I got you. Yeah, it's nice to go back there in front of my friends and family, and in front of a lot of my loved ones, and
It's a good question.
playing a
from her.
place I've played a bunch of times, and I know this team's really,
She
really
knows shit
good,
about his
so
high
it's going to be a
school career.
challenge. But yeah, it'll be fun for me personally to go back there, but it's about our team and getting the W.
One more on the Campbell, the Campbell at the press conference. You obviously weren't thinking about being here. You weren't
Yeah.
in the picture yet. As a guy that wasn't expected to be here, did you catch much of that? Was it a talk with players at all?
No, I actually didn't. I didn't know about it until I got here. But yeah, I did. I'll finish with this too, and I didn't get to say it, but I want to give a lot of credit to Aaron Glenn tonight. And I know you guys didn't ask me about our defense, but our defense played their tails off, and he deserves a ton of credit for what he's done these last handful of weeks.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jared.
All right, man. I'm gonna just lean into a little something here. The mention of Ben and the mention of Aaron Glenn gives me worries. I'll just say that.
Yep. I think Ben's done, man. Like I think that was like it pretty much came out that during the interview for the guy who got that GM job, like his plan is to hire Ben Johnson. That's what got him that job. He was like, Ben and I are a package deal. You should hire me.
Yeah, and I don't
Probably not in
know
those
if
exact words. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's 100% true, but that was kind of the gist that reporters were given, was that this is the intent
my
when he was
understanding
hired.
is that it's more, I'm going to build something like Ben Johnson does. And I think it's a lot like McVay was the hot name for a long time. And anybody who had McVay in their history, cleaned his bathroom or whatever else, was suddenly a viable coach. So I don't
Suddenly coaching the Bengals. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know that
He's
he's
done well,
out
but-
yet, but just watching this, it gives me a little more AG than Ben. Hey, caller, what's your name? And 0 to Frank, where are you?
It's Mo from the Creek, baby. Let's go.
Oh, brother, we missed you last week. Now, was it too hard to get on? Was that the thing? Because the calls were off the hook. I mean, they are today too. But
God.
I'm gonna tell you something. Our O line blocks just as good as your phone line blocks me from calling in. It's crazy.
I'm sorry,
It's
Mo.
crazy.
Like, if I had the direct line for enough people, we'd just have the same people on the show every week. We would never find a Frank.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
the great
man,
thing about the show.
You need to hold the calls for at least 10 minutes until I call in. It's the press conference, then Mo from the Creek. I'm telling you, baby, the ratings will go through the roof.
Mo's got the slow edible fingers going on. Like, what's the number? Is 2, 4, 8. It's gonna be all day. So where are you from? Where are you from, 0 to Frank?
You know, I popped one before the game. You know, I got my edibles and my Heineken. Boy, I'm as happy as Jason Voorhees at a campfire.
Let me ask you this: from 0 to Frank, where are you?
Man, I'm on Pluto right now, man. I'm telling everybody about the Lions. I'm going to Pluto. I'm going to Mars. I'm putting the Lions flag on every planet so everybody can get on board.
So where are you in Jared Goff? Is he the guy?
Oh, come on, man. That debate need to be put to bed. Goff is the man. He's our guy. People been crying and whining about quarterbacks for years. This is our guy.
What about Gibbs? Oh, let me go here. This is a good one. What about J-Mo?
You know, J-Mo, you know, he had to win us fans over. I think he's proved himself at this point in the season.
I think J-Mo had a win over the coaches, and I think he did. I do. I honestly 100% do believe that that's what it was, and I cannot confirm or deny anything. But it was a him thing, and it was it was a grit thing. He had to show that he loved football, that he was going to do it, that he wasn't going to sleep in meetings, that kind of stuff. And I think, based on what we're seeing, because he didn't get the ball. Like, everybody can look, and then it was, well, that's because Goff only underthrows him. Well, that's put to bed too, right? I mean, we've seen him overthrow J-Mo a bunch of times. This is J-Mo's evolution, and I think what we're seeing out of this coaching staff with J-Mo and how they're dealing with him may well be a lesson in leadership, because they brought a guy that might have been a problem and lined him up, and they got him ready to freaking go. And like, he gets it. Like, he grew up this year. I think J-Mo really grew up, and I love what I'm seeing. I love it. I love it, Mo. Oh.
I was at the me and my wife was at the Tampa game in Tampa when he got that touchdown. To me personally, that was like the turning point for J-Mo. I was like, okay, we starting to use him. He's starting to show up. And even before that touchdown, he had dropped the pass, an easy pass, and then he made up for it. So I think he's coming into his own. He was teetering on that fence of a bus. You know, I was hoping we'd get something out of him, because that speed is impeccable. That speed that he has, I wish we would have more play schemes for him, but the way we're using them, I can't be mad at that.
I think we're gonna dial up J-Mo as we get deeper into the playoffs. I honestly think that the trust in him. There was a moment when I think it was the first catch today, or maybe it was the second one, where Goff gave him the point and the nod and the look, and that was the yup, this is it, we got it. Like there was a connection there that hadn't been there previously. I gotta go back.
Right.
Did you say you were at the Tampa game, Mo?
Yeah, I was at the Tampa. Matter of fact, I was looking for your ass.
Well, how come you didn't?
I couldn't find you,
Bro, why didn't we connect, man?
I went to your Twitter and I was like, this fool is in the stadium. I was walking around, the tailgating, looking for you. I never could find you. Yeah, man, I was looking all over for you.
All right. Well, are you going to come to town for? You going to skip the creek and come to town for the draft?
It's on the list, baby. It's on the list.
Right,
and I tagged you on Twitter or X, or rather. I'm the guy with my shirt off, swinging my shirt around my head. That's me celebrating, baby. That's me.
All right, I'm going to look right now to see what I can find. Where's me some more? All right,
that sounds great.
Sir.
All right, yeah, I will look for it. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Moski. I got you, man. All right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, man. We are definitely get together for the draft. All right, Mo.
Yes, sir. Chris, Ash, Lions Nation, love y'all, man. This is history in the making. Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. Mo, appreciate you all season, man. Really do. You've been so great to us. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Much love, baby. Go One Pride. Go Lions.
All great. Love you, brother. We'll see you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, from the creek. Get somebody else in here and see what we can do. Hey, caller, what's your name and where you at? 0 to Frank. Caller? And we're full Frank. We are full Frank. Oh, there you went. Sorry. It took a little too long there, Frankie. Sorry. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you at? 0 to Frank.
You know what it is.
How you doing, man?
Oh, my God. Last week was torture. This week was beautiful. Listen, I don't have 40 years of Detroit pain. I just have faith in Jared Goff, and he is rewarding my faith week after week. He is in a zone. He is playing quarterback at the highest level. This team is on a roll, and it just feels good to be right. It feels very good to be right, and I'm so happy for my man JG16.
Yeah, me too, brother. You know what? This reminds me as we think. I think someone said, "Can somebody confirm that we have 6 or 6:30 the late game tomorrow or next week?"
I think it's a late game.
Okay, all right. So we fly in. I land at like 10 a.m. in Mobile. We're going to be doing the post game show from our hotel room ahead of Senior Bowl. Maybe we'll be able to do it from the convention center, but then we don't have a place to watch. This is going to be something. We're going to figure this out. Okay, thank you, Robbins, for the late game confirmation. This is something we're going to have to figure out because we got to do a post game show, and we will, but we're not sure how to put this together.
Yeah, you guys do a great job. You cover the team fairly. It's great information, and man, listen. For all those people who banged on Brad Holmes for taking Gibbs and Laporta, they are the reason why this team is where they are. So all your trade, your draft value, you don't take this guy, you don't take that guy, stick it up somewhere because Brad Holmes knows exactly what he's doing. I got to believe that Hutchinson was hurt after he took that hit on that interception because he is playing at a different level right now. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Yeah, and Johnson is just one of those guys who is around the ball. He's been back, 2 interceptions. He's just one of those players who the ball just finds him. The defense has played well. They give up way too many one-on-one bombs, but defense is playing well and opportunistic, and I feel good. You know, I hate San Francisco, always will. So Goff going home. He's coming. He's going home to bring glory to Detroit, baby.
This is that. Yeah, this is, man, what a story for him to go. And look, I go back to Kristen Harper's Insta post where she said it was always Detroit, the heart. Like, they didn't know it. We didn't know it. Like, it was the Goff and Detroit and Campbell and Holmes and Disner and Agnew and Spielman connection. Like, who knew? Who knew somebody like ever in when this started and Jared Goff winds up in Detroit, everybody says you went there to die. You went to Detroit to die. That's where everybody's career went to die. Flowers, like all the people that Patricia and Quinn grabbed, right? Detroit is the place where careers went to die. Reggie Bush, right? Boom, come here and die. End it, right? Just get a check at the end. They're bad enough, they'll sign anybody. And it wasn't that. Yeah. Jared Goff has taken that into completely different place, man.
Yeah, and listen, I got bit like just watching Campbell First news conference. I was like, oh my God, what did those guys do? But the more once Jared came and I started watching, you sort of realize, all right, he's not a meathead. Like, and what told me that was when he called plays after they got rid of Anthony Lynn. I was like, okay, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's a great leader for this team. Goff is a great leader. That I love when the crowd cheers his name. It is a beautiful moment for him. Shit, I feel good listening to it because I battle with people still today. Like when people do these stupid lists and they had Goff 7, 8 behind Baker and C.J. Stroud. Okay. Listen, at this point, I don't care anymore. Rank Jared Goff wherever you want. Put him 12, put him 10. I don't care.
Because you're wrong.
All I know is
you're wrong.
We went to the Rams, and for a decade before that, the Rams had the worst record in the NFL. 2 years later in the Super Bowl. He goes to Detroit, one of the worst organizations. 3 years later, they're in the NFC Championship game with a chance to go to Super Bowl. Good quarterback. I mean, bad quarterbacks don't do that. Only very good quarterbacks do that. So shout out to Jared Goff.
Yeah, for sure. And you look at him, and it's easy to look at Jared Goff and say he's just a soft California kid, right? He's a soft guy from California, a little bit, whatever. But that and the resilience, the soul, the toughness, the mental toughness that he carries, man, is incredible. I will say, I will ding him. He's not a beautiful slider when he goes to slide after a run.
When his father played baseball. Like, what's going on? Your father played baseball. Oh, you can't slide, but yeah.
But
every time you leave the pocket, I hold my breath. Like, yo, Jared, get down. Get down, brother.
But dude, those quarterback sneaks the last 2 weeks have been fire. They've been absolute fire.
Stars. Like, not there. He's pushing it forward. So it's a beautiful thing to see, man. But shout out to you guys. I watch all your stuff, support you. Hey, did you come to Jersey? I forgot to DM you. You been to Jersey already?
I've been to Jersey a bunch of times, bro. In the last year, I've probably been like 6 times. It's gonna be on the regs too. So hit me up, DM me, and let's.
I'll DM you your information whenever you're here. Just hit me up. We'll get together.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. That'd be great. Appreciate you, man. You've been there since the beginning, right? Back. You were the guy when I started to get shaken a little bit on my Goff thing. You were the guy that was like, no. Goff, you stick with Goff. Goff is the guy. He's got it. He's going to prove so many people wrong. And I was, and you bolstered me. Like we talk about this being the, post game therapy. That was a time, man, where you carried me through a spot. I knew it. I knew it was the right thing, right? But you got me.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
We're there. One game away. Let's go.
2 games. 2 games away.
There's 2 wins left. Yeah. This team will never lose again.
They pull down the 2 wins and do this year. I don't want to say I don't ever care if we win again, because obviously I do. But man, the weight, like everything changes. I think everything's already changed, really. Everything's already changed with this team, but everything changes forever if they go all the way.
Oh, no doubt. It is. And it's one of those seasons where it's a perfect storm, right? Like all these guys aren't getting paid yet, so they got a great group. They too young to not know what they don't supposed to be doing. Jared Goff has that experience where he's been there, and he wants the revenge to redeem himself for the last game. It sounds perfect. I don't want to think too far ahead, but it certainly sounds perfect. And watching San Fran last night.
Yeah,
they're gettable. It's going to be tough, but they're not unbeatable.
Yes, and they're a great match for us. I think they're a better matchup. As much as I'd rather have the home game and kind of slay the Packers beast, I think San Francisco is actually a better matchup for us in this game.
Because it's a team that you haven't played before. The Packers, they know you, right? Yeah, and you know them. So it's less prep work that they have to do, sort of. So, now it's an unknown opponent. Now they have to go to work. San Fran has to go to film school. They have to figure out, all right, what. So, it's been nice. But, it's nice. Go to San Fran, do your thing, send those boys home, and, man, let's celebrate.
Yeah, that's it. All right, brother, we're gonna roll. We're gonna get some more calls. The lines, of course, are on fire. Night. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, and do DM me. All right, we'll connect. Have a couple drinks. All right, see you, bro. All right, let's get in another one. God, I'm just pulling them off. And if you're calling in, I mean, I see literally there's like 10 people calling all at once. We'll get you. We'll just keep going. We'll get everybody in. Don't worry about it. Hey, caller, what's your name and where are you on 0 to Frank scale?
Hey guys, it's Chris R.
Hey Chris, how you doing?
Hey buddy.
I'm doing pretty good, man. It's been a heck of a journey this year, from coaching to personal stuff to all kinds of everything. And I was trying to get in with the St. Jude thing, but missed it. So nice to be able to get in touch with you guys again today and have a little bit of a moment to celebrate with you guys.
Yeah, man, it's good to hear from you. Yeah, what a ride! What an absolute ride!
And I remember when I first started talking with you guys, it was early Patricia days, and I remember getting so hyped about when we drafted Imani in the 5th round, and that feels like a decade ago now. It's been just so much has happened with all of us. I mean, with you guys and everything that you guys have done with St. Jude, to me starting coaching now, to obviously the Lions team and the journey that they've been on these last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a ride, and who knows? I mean, there's so much more to still be written. It's crazy times. What was your favorite part of the game today, man?
Honestly, for me, it was nice to see the way that the depth stepped up, because one thing that we've always talked about with this team is the bottom half of the roster, right? We always had the superstars. We had the Calvins, we had the Barry Sanders, we always had those big name guys, and we never really had the surrounding guys to go with them. When we had Calvin, it was Chris Durham, that was playing across from.
Yep.
And it's we never had that complete team. And for us to see Brock Wright make that big play, Craig Reynolds make a big play, Derek Barnes make a big play, JRM with a big sack, we actually showed off that we have a complete team this year. And that was something that really, really stood out to me in this one.
Yeah.
It was nice to spread love. Coyote Washington coming in to step up for Jonah, that was big. He came up big on that touchdown run too. Just those guys. It makes me happy to see those guys get some love this week.
Yeah. Hey, I got something for you to listen to. I got something for everybody here to listen to. It's Taylor Decker. He's about to get emotional talking about his longtime O-line mate Frank Ragnow. Let me pull this up for you, and I know you're gonna be able to hear it this time.
I might get a little emotional talking about him, but the dude's just a warrior, man. And he's been through it. He's been through it personally. He's been through it.
I can't do that because of the music in the background.
Just loud enough that we're going to get yanked. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll stop that.
Under 10 seconds, we are good.
Sorry about that, everyone. Looked like it was going to be a good one. So I checked that out. That was some Detroit news. Good stuff. Sorry, Chris. I thought that would be a really good one to hear Decker talking about Ragnow and his stuffness. But let me get your reaction. Ragnow out there, I mean, just literally pieced together like Frankenstein of body parts, some missing, some gonna be missing. My guy is just a beast. What do you think about what he did out there?
Yeah, like, and I'm just going to kind of, I don't want to get too personal, but I'll take a story from my example from this year, where we had our best player this year. He was a wide receiver. He had to come in and play quarterback for us. And dude just, like, stepped up, made a big play, made something happen, kick return touchdown. Like, and those are the types of guys that you really want to build your team around. And we have that with Decker. We have that with Frank Ragnow. We have that with Hutchinson. We have that with Penny Sewell. And, like, they're all linemen. Like, I mean, that's kind of been the core identity of this team, right, is building that offensive line and the defensive line. And Lee McNeil's stepped up a lot this year. Last year, he had some moments. But this year, he's really stepped up, too. So, I mean, we still probably need one more guy next offseason, but we'll get to that in the offseason. It's really those guys up front that have really kind of identified this team. And that's all on Brad. I haven't been the biggest Stan Campbell guy when he first got hired, just admittedly, but I loved the Brad hire as soon as he got hired from LA. I was a huge fan of his when he interviewed. And I give Brad a lot of credit for what he's done building this roster. He's done incredible work building an identity here.
Yeah, 100%. And to watch, I mean, we talked about the Dragons, but to watch Brad Holmes slay those Rams last week. Brad Holmes had, you heard him and you saw him in the elevator after the game, just on fire. And I think folks didn't really put a whole lot of that together about just how much emotionally that meant for him to truly be able to take that from the Rams and be the guy when he was like the guy next to the guy before, and he'd worked his way up to be the guy next to the guy. Thanks, Les. Appreciate it. Now I'm going to take your fucking cookies.
And I mean, it's not just Brad, too, to be fair. I'm just going to take this time to give a shout out to all the other guys up there. Disner's getting GM interviews. Mike Martin is probably going to be getting GM interviews if he hasn't already. Obviously, Agnew's gotten a couple of GM looks. I think Carolina showed interest in him this year. Like, there's all kinds of talent in that front office. It's not just Brad.
Yep.
And it takes a true team effort in the coaching staff. We talk about the collaboration with the coaches, with Hank Fraley and Van and AG and all those guys. But it takes a collaboration up top, too. And it's not just Brad and Spielman. It's a whole bunch of guys putting in a lot of work up there.
Yep. Chris, let me ask you one last question before we move on. For me, the audible dong made mine visible. Did you have the same situation?
I'm actually watching with one of my friends today online. My grandma's in rehab right now, so kind of been just a crazy week or two. So I've been trying to keep the physical reactions down a little bit, make sure I don't scare the neighbors off too much. But it was definitely one of those moments that had me pretty confident that, hey, we got that stop. Let's get some points on the board and we can win this thing. And that was, I think, a big turning point for us.
Yeah.
In terms of being able to win.
Yep. All right, my man. Be good. We're going to rock through. We got a bunch more calls we got to hit. All right. Thanks, Chris.
Yep. 100%.
Good talking to you again, man.
Stay safe. Stay healthy. Love you guys.
You too.
Talk
Love you
soon.
too, brother. We'll see you.
You too, brother.
All right. Robbins, good to hear from him, man. All right, let's get. Sorry, we got another one right away. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you at from 0 to Frank?
Hey, Chris. I'd say on 0 to Frank, I'm probably more Frank Caliendo than Frank Ragnow.
What about Frank the Tank from Malone's?
Ooh, that
Frank.
You know, I don't come close to that. You know that.
How you doing, bro?
Hey, not too bad. Hey, Luke Sullivan from Flint, Michigan now. He used to be Flint, Grand Rapids, or Luke Sullivan from Grand Rapids. But, hey, this win, super emotional for me personally. Got an uncle who, on his deathbed back in January last year, said, hey, Michigan's going to win it all. And, you know, my Malone's probably going to win it all as well. Michigan did their part, and still waiting on the Lions. But this is really something.
Yeah.
It's all been really super awesome. And I just want to throw it back to a couple of years ago when everyone said Goff was nothing. When we were getting him in that trade, he wasn't even coming over as like top 26. A lot of people said
Mm-hmm.
they were saying he wasn't even a starting quarterback. And in that first year, I will say even myself, I was like, what is going on? Like this dude keeps trying to roll out of the pocket, do these, and you kind of talked about it, this modern warfare, no 60, the 360 no look,
No scope, yeah.
no scope.
Yep.
What is going on with this? Can you and Ash talk about maybe the development, the coaching, what has happened to this guy? Because this is a different Goff than we saw a few years ago, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Go, sorry, so many hosts. Ash, I'm gonna give the meat of that question to you, okay? But I do wanna just jump in really quick. I think Goff always had it. I think Goff was always a talented quarterback. He had all the physical gifts. Everything that was Jared Goff's problem was in Jared Goff's head, and I think Sean McVay took a kid who was impressionable, frankly, because he's his coach, right? And they went so far together. And McVay, and this is speculation, so I don't want to get too personal, but I feel like he's a trash human and just broke Jared Goff. And mentally about it within the sport. I mean, you've seen it like with golfers, they get the yips or whatever. Tiger Woods has had situations where he's gone through all that. I think Jared Goff had a coach that actively tried to break him for whatever reason, whether it's the pipe his girlfriend thing, which look, anybody would have said that, right? I mean, because she's definitely pipeable if I wasn't happily married. But
we go to Dan Campbell to learn you how to lay some pipe, right?
Yeah. But whatever the reason, that's what we got. And I talked about it in the last show. People talked about he needs someone behind him to push him. He didn't need that. This, from a straight sports psychology perspective, Jared Goff needed somebody to help him remember that he had all the skills and talents that he actually had. And once he had somebody that believed in him and helped him be, allowed him to be what he can be, what Ben did and Campbell did in this off seasons of building this playbook with Goff, hand in hand with Goff and around Goff and around his skills, is what, number one, allowed him to be that physical creature that he could be and the mental creature that he can be. And the confidence that came from that was exactly what it needed, which is why I'm so happy with how this JMO thing is playing out, because I think they've played that absolutely perfect as well. So and this isn't about JMO, but on the Goff thing, that's my take on what it was. Ash, I'll go to town, man. I didn't want to steal thunder away from you because I think there's probably a lot of other technical things as well that are at play here.
Well, yeah, it's not even really that technical. I mean, the day of the trade, I immediately watched every game that the Rams had played in the last 4 years. That's who I am. Just to see okay, what happened here? What were the 2 good years and what were the 2 bad years? And what it came down to is they were asking Jared Goff to be a different human being, basically. Jared Goff could run the offense that they had up until the point where they went to the Super Bowl, and then Sean McVay tore that offense down and rebuilt something else. And he did not take into account while he was doing that what Jared Goff is actually good at. Even today, the one naked bootleg was a sack. That is a play that should just not be in the playbook if Jared Goff is your quarterback, because he does not do that well. He cannot deal with that well. And people are always throwing, play action stats, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, watch him do it and tell me that he's comfortable with this. You know what I mean? But I think the thing it comes down to is we've had a consistent coaching staff with him, whereas with the Rams, because of that whole Sean McVay effect, there was a new offensive coordinator, there was a new quarterbacks coach every year or maybe 2. You know what I mean? And you just don't get the same guys kind of handling this guy. You know what I mean? And teaching him the new stuff. So okay, McVay had, when he got there, a situation where he was taking care of all of that himself. And I don't think he ever really figured out how to do it any other way until he got someone that was already prepackaged, ready to take a lot of things off his plate in Matthew Stafford. He didn't develop Jared Goff into anything. He designed basically a bit of an offense that worked with what Jared Goff's skill set was and had immediate success with it and never really changed how that worked. Like you can't still 5 years in be in the quarterback's ear until the second the ball is snapped. Like that's not coaching. That's playing Madden. And that's a lot of what McVay was doing, was just stuff like that like you have to get it to the point where you don't have to do that, or you're doing a terrible job. Or you need to find somebody else, which is what they did. You know what I mean? Like I'm never gonna, like, Jared Goff couldn't do what they were asking him to do. They did need to go find somebody else. So they were not wrong about that, but the problem was that you're asking Jared Goff to do things he can't do.
You're Matt Patricia.
Not Jared Goff sucks. Yeah. That's it. That's what I've said the whole time since the day after the trade was made. I was like, Sean McVay fucked this up. That's who this is on, that Jared Goff stopped being good. It's not on Jared Goff because he's just continuously being asked to basically be one of these mobile guys. Like, they just constant play action rollouts. And like, Jared Goff is like legit, the 4.8 40 he ran at the combine was the best 40 he will ever run in his entire life. And it was ugly, real ugly. You know what I mean? This is not a fluid athlete. It's they basically just took everything he was good at in college and stopped asking him to do that and asked him to do a bunch of other different things. And when the league was behind, when that was the perfect thing for every defense that was out there, because it was basically that Seahawks cover 3 defense is what inspired Sean McVay's offense to explode all over the place, because his answers are the right answers against that cover 3D without even trying, just stylistically. Like, that's all that was. Does that make sense?
100%. Love that. Yeah, and Chris, something you just said is trying to Patricia up a little bit.
Yep.
Something that I've thought, I think that's become very evident especially late, as we're getting kind of later in the season here, super late in the season, is something that I had to throw my hands up and say, all right, in the GM we trust, you're the best we've ever had. When we go and get Jahmyr Gibbs, and then we get Laporta, up high draft picks. Like, okay, well, I mean, we're reaching supposedly, and Campbell, yeah, exactly. Campbell, second pick in the first round. Okay, it seems like we're reaching. That's what everyone's telling me to feel, is that we're reaching. All of a sudden, we're getting late in the season, and Goff is able to extend these plays a quarter of a second, which in the NFL is a lifetime, because he trusts the flat. He trusts his check down. He trusts Laporta, and he's trusting Gibbs. Hey, I've got 3 to 5 yards, and these guys might be able to make a play, you know? So he's able to let J-Mo, St. Brown, he's able to let all these guys maybe take a couple more steps, see if they can break out a little bit, and then check down. Rather, before, he might be a little bit quicker to get that check down, which that quarter second, now that he's got J-Mo. And before, I was like, oh, no, man, we have to trade Swift because now he wants out. What is this regime doing? What in the world? What's going on here? But I said, all right, I'll step back. You guys, you're the GM. You're the coach. You know better than me. I'm going to trust you more than I trust Patricia, more than I trust everyone else the last 2 decades, my entire life. I'm 29. I haven't seen this before. And it's like, you guys knew what you were talking about. And it's that little quarter of a second difference that he can trust his checkdowns enough to be able to read the main 2 reads for a quarter of a second longer. Am I feeling that wrong? Do you guys, Chris, Ash, do you think?
No, I think the building this team around Goff, you have to have time, and that line is what's done it.
Yep.
And I think the thing that's given us the most difficulty offensively is just the injuries along the line in time. And I have a sense that in the next year and 2 years, this thing is going to be solidified, where the Cowboys for a long time were their vaunted offensive line. It was like 6-8 years in a row, right? They were just sending them all to the Pro Bowl, right? I think that's what we're going to get, and that's what you need for Jared Goff. And which is why, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown is Amon-Ra is a fantastic wide receiver. I don't see him as an X anywhere else. I just don't see him as the number one guy on any other team but our team, right? Because we're okay. We're okay with Goff with time. You put a tight end out there like Laporta, you get St. Brown, you got Reynolds out there who's just killing it, who's a 4 on most teams, right? Reynolds. I mean, and he's just knocking them dead. Khalif out there. I mean, you have just the right guys, and you have a guy who can deliver them the ball. Perfect. Now you have the opportunity to spend a defense and build out the defense. And I think that's what they've been doing since day one. Since day one is bolstering the offense and getting the offense set. And they've had setbacks in this offensive line along the way, and they've patched it together. And with a guy like Hank Fraley, able to bring guys that maybe otherwise shouldn't have been there into place and be able to hold things together, that's great. This year, I think we're going to have to do a little spending on offensive line, but I have a sense that we're gonna build in that D a little deeper, a little bit more, and I expect a lot out of this team next year. And unfortunately, it's probably going to be a lot more than I would have, just because we've gone so far this year. Expectations now are through the roof. That's the curse of doing well, right? The curse of doing well.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Because the reality is
100%.
they could improve the roster and only win 9 games. That happens. It happens all the time.
Yep. 100%.
As other teams get better
All right,
too.
fellas,
You know.
I'll shut up and get out of your hair and do my favorite part, which is sit back and listen to you guys japper. All right. I appreciate you giving me some time, and I love you guys. You guys have got me through some tough times over the last couple of years, and have a great night. Go Lions, and I'm going to shut up and listen. Okay, guys?
Appreciate you, brother. Hands free. 100%.
Take care.
All right. All right. I got this Frank thing. We can play it right now. I want to play the 7 seconds where Frank was talking about his coach.
Leader I've ever been around by far. Just authentically loves his guys. Same guy every single day. I can't say enough about the man.
There you go. Frank Ragnow about.
Well, that's what it is. Like it's I've said 1,000 times at this point that Matt Patricia and Dan Campbell say the same things. One of them actually does it. One of them, it is who he is as a human being.
Yeah. The other one is doing it because he thinks that's what you're supposed to do.
And he's right. He just can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, caller, what's your name and where are you at from 0 to Frank?
Hello, this is Levi in San Francisco.
Levi. Okay, so
enemy territory now.
Yeah. Well, for those that don't know, Levi is a total DLP OG. He may have been on our first post-game show where we did call-ins.
Yeah,
is that right, Levi?
Me, honestly.
I caught in the preseason of the 2014 season. And I remember what exactly I said. I said Jim Caldwell's going to get us to the Super Bowl.
We all said some crazy things, Levi. Don't worry about it. It's just you guys get a shorter time to say crazy stuff than we do.
That's true. I really believed it. I was like, oh no, we got I know we lost Sue, but we got that DeAndre Levy, and we got was it Amir Abdullah. I just thought that was going to be the team.
Yep. Back in the days, like we gotta get him and Theo Riddick on the field at the same time. That's how we're gonna win these games. I remember those conversations, man.
Yeah. Oh man.
So Levi, I got a whole bunch of people that need a place to stay. You got a couple extra rooms?
Maybe. I got tickets.
Oh,
I do have
nice.
tickets. Because I'm married a Niners season ticket holder and have been going to every game, including last night's game.
Oh my gosh. Man,
That's gotta be
man.
fun.
Well, congratulations.
So how's
to
that
you,
stadium?
Levi.
How's the crowd noise there, man?
It's good. It was really good last night. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. And I also want to say this because I've locally, they're talking crap on us big time. I watched the post-game show on Dante Whitner's whiny ass from Ohio State. First words he said was light work for the Niners. I don't know if you guys watched the Niners all year like I have. I've been watching the Niners all year. The one team they're afraid of is the Lions. I know.
I like this matchup style-wise.
They're afraid of a run-dominant team. They're weak on a run. They're terrible on a run. Eric Armstead has not come back
Their
healthy.
secondary is not good either.
Yeah, the Chase Young experiment has been a bust.
Oh yeah.
It's like their only pass rusher is really Nick Bosa. That's it.
But
It's like
my question, Levi.
Green Bay had him on the ropes.
Yeah, yeah. My question for you: do you think Caldwell will get us to the Super Bowl?
Would still happen.
I think it could happen.
Anything is possible, baby.
That's right. It was like I mean, you know, he keeps it even killed. You just never know.
Levi.
Thank you guys so much for the past decade. No, you guys don't know how much you've gotten all us Lions fans through this. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
I know,
you,
man.
Levi.
I wasn't on the show when this thing started, man. I know exactly how much Chris has gotten us through.
You guys have done God's work.
Oh, man.
It's like you guys have done God's work for real. Because those friggin' Patricia years and Bob Quinn's, just thinking about that makes me mad. And to see where we're at right now,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Levi.
so much.
No, I mean it's we wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for folks like you, man.
Yeah.
You, Mo, everybody that calls in and it's just like supports us and keeps us going. If nobody was listening, if it was just my mom tuning in every week, I'd have given this up a long time ago. You know what I mean? But it's all the folks that have been here with us. Like those Patricia years, they were horrible. They were horrible, man.
Yeah,
but
they were.
As much as like people said I provided therapy or we provided therapy on the show, it was therapy for me. It was therapy for us, man. Because like this whole thing started because I was in LA and I had no one to talk Lions with. And the Lions, they went 0-16. They went the year after I moved there. And it was like I had Packers fans and Bears fans, meatheads all around me. And it's like, oh my God, the Bears made that run to the Super Bowl. They choked out. It was horrible. And I just needed somebody to talk Lions with. And it just kind of came out of all that. And then the love and the support from everybody. It's amazing, man. It's the only reason we've taken this to something that never intended this to be anything. It was like a kind of a lark at first and just a way to get talking about the Lions with folks. And it's really grown into something special. So appreciate you, Levi. I really mean that because it's, you know, in my life and we were talking earlier about how, you know, things change. Like you talked about how Caldwell was going to get the Super Bowl. This has become part of my identity. Part of, you know, it's a huge part of my life. It takes a big chunk of my time, but it's just part of who I am now. And I appreciate everybody for helping make that happen because I love doing this. This is a real passion project.
Thank you so much, man. I'm 46 years old. I grew up in Pontiac, and I remember like the last time the Lions was in a championship game. Like life was rough. I was going through it on Pontiac. I was like 15 years old, and that's when plants closed down. Everything was really rough.
Yeah.
And the Lions were like football, and the Lions was like what got me through to making myself become a successful person in life.
Yep.
So it really does mean a lot to have like fellow Lions fans and people to talk to, because there's not a lot of us out there. But the ones who are out there, they've been through it like we've all been through it. And it's like, and just want to let you guys know that, like, just thank you so much. Everything you guys do, the charity we St. Jude, everything, it means so much. It just shows how much we got and how much more stronger than we are than anyone else out there.
Hell yeah.
So, man, I love you guys, man. And for any Lions fans out there that are afraid of the Niners, I've been watching them for the past year. Kyle Shanahan's a choker, and we're going to beat him.
Awesome.
Just letting you know.
I love that, Levi. Yep. I love that.
It really is.
Yeah, he's a choker. They're afraid of run-oriented teams. A lot of his play calling has been based off of what they saw the Lions do this year. So just keep a note of that. 24-22 Lions Super Bowl. I'm out. I love you guys.
Levi,
Peace
really
out,
quick.
man.
We're going to get all the OGs together. We're going down to the batting cages, and we're going to go wear our Lions jerseys and rip that ball straight to the scoreboard. You with me?
That's right. I'm down for it, man. I am down for it. If anyone is at Levi Stadium, my namesake, come meet up with me. I'm in Green Lot 1. Barbecues on me, liquors on me. We doing this thing next week. Peace out, guys. I love y'all. We doing this. Hell yeah.
Love you, Levi. Thank you, brother. We'll
Man,
see
love you too, man.
you.
All right.
We'll see you. Woo!
Hold on. I'm just going to see if there's direct flights.
Liquor's on him. I don't know what if
Like,
he knows what he just
about the game.
committed to.
I'll find somewhere to watch the game. You know what I'm saying? But like free barbecue and liquor in a parking lot, I'll fly out for that.
That sounds a little bit more like now we're talking my speed. Free barbecue and liquor in a parking lot.
Yep. Yeah. Let's do that. Then I'll leave.
Hey, caller, what's your name and where you at? 0 to Frank.
Hey guys, this is Woody. Now that the Lions are going, now that the Lions are going to San Fran, I'm bringing out Woody Wood Dog is in the house. Real quick story, guys. For one, I've just started following you guys, started watching you guys. You guys are amazing, man. And what you guys are doing for St. Jude, that's the main reason I watch you. I have a heart for kids, and what you guys are doing is amazing. And I just want to give you guys your flowers.
Thank you, man.
Real quick, back in 1990, my uncle and me, I only cried 2 times in sports history. That's when the Detroit Red Wings won the Stanley Cup in '97.
With you.
And when Barry Sanders retired. I made a bet before Barry retired, though. I made a bet with my uncle, unfortunately. I bet him $1 million, a hypothetical million, that we'd win the Super Bowl with Barry Sanders. Unfortunately, we know what happened with Barry Sanders. But I just want to say this is amazing. You know, I became a Detroit Lions fan on December 22nd at 8:11 a.m., and that was the day I was born. I remember when Another One Bites the Dust came out in the 80s, and the Lions were the Lions, Billy Sims. And I never, through the years, being a Lions fan, a diehard fan, I've never wore another team's jersey. My kids know that it's Detroit teams, Michigan teams, and no other teams. You will never see me wear another jersey. And with that being said, being a lifelong Lions fan, I cannot believe, and I still find it hard to believe that this is the Detroit Lions. You know, we got rid of the same old Lions. And what happened today? What happened in the divisional championship, that was just, that whole atmosphere was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And today, you know, I thought they were going to beat Tampa Bay. I wasn't worried. I was I was starting to get upset when they were making a few penalties in that. But this has, I'll bring back.
Those it?
I'll bring back the Tigers. We restored the roar, okay? And I just want to say thank you guys for what you do on the podcast. And I am a proud, and I'm glad I never got another team, a proud fan and a diehard. There's no wagons I've been on or off of. I've always been a Lions fan through the thick and thin, and I am so proud that I didn't become another team's fan like my uncle. He went from the Lions, and after years and years of disappointment, he became a Washington Redskin fan, unfortunately. With that being said, I just want to thank you guys, and I just want to say, go Lions. Give me that 7 points in San Fran, and I might just drive out and have that tailgate party.
Levi.
You guys have a great one, and thank you guys.
Thank you, man. I'll tell you what, before you go find Spider-Man Allen singing Another One Bites the Dust.
Yes, sir.
And go for the ride, man. That was worth every second. That was so great. Love you, man. We'll see you.
Yes, sir. Another one down, another one down. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey!
Oh, man. Oh, that's awesome. Love it. Man, I love it. I absolutely am enthralled. This is, this is the one thing I love about this is how much, like Frank last week just captured our hearts, right? But all these calls this is Detroit. This is people. This is the the heart and soul of the folks that have wanted to enjoy these Lions and the absolute joy that's popped out of the Lions being there. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where you at from 0 to Frank?
Hey, it's Matt. Can you hear me?
I can, Matt. You got some ping pong going in the background?
I think it's the laundry machine.
I knew it.
Wife's doing some laundry, so I got that going in the background. But yeah, it's Matt from Carefree in LA. How are you doing, guys?
Matt, I want to tell you about carefree-spirits.com. They have some.
Did you enjoy the bourbon? Did you have some?
I have some right here.
I'm still waiting for my
I'm just
bottle,
about to pour some. I've got it for you, Ash. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Yeah,
See you in Orlando.
this is fantastic bourbon. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pour myself a little right now. Carefree-bourbon. Use code DLP10. That's right. That's the one, right, Matthew?
Yeah, DLP10.
Yeah. That will get you 10% off, and it'll get shipped to your house. This is some fine bourbon. Really, really good stuff, man. I appreciate this. They're not giving us anything. We're just doing this for, I guess I'm a prostitute for booze. They sent me a bottle, a couple bottles, and I love it. It's great, man.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, first off, definitely, I want to do a $200 match to St. Jude. Anyone who donates next throughout the podcast.
Woo!
So just throwing that out there.
stjude.org/DLP. You guys get in, help those kids, help those families. We actually have a trip we're trying to work with St. Jude on in April ahead of the draft to go down and spend some time in Tennessee at the hospital and do a thing with them. Yeah, so get in there if you can. stjude.org/DLP. We've got a match here from Matt up to $200. And with that, I will hand the microphone to you, Matt, and I will toast you as I have a nice sip of this carefree-spirits.com bourbon.
Virtually toasting you back, Chris. Thank you.
Right,
I just want to say too, like, kind of crazy. We started NBC Sunday Night Football with a win, and we ended NBC Sunday Night Football with a win. Open and close their season. Like, crazy to think, like, after 2021, like, that we would be here in 2023 doing this.
Undefeated in prime time, right?
Undefeated in prime time. That's crazy. So, but also, did you guys notice at the end that Bowles didn't use his last time out? Like, I just thought that was weird. Like, he could have forced us to kick a field goal with like 30 seconds left, because Goff was taking knees with like 17 seconds left on the play clock. I just thought that was weird. Maybe it was like an agreement between Campbell and Bowles because they go way back that they weren't going to do that stuff, but it just seemed weird. I don't know. I was getting a little worried watching it.
It's weak sauce.
If they ran the whole clock out, then we still would have gotten it without having to do anything.
Right.
So he basically, when he didn't call it after the first play, they were like, "Oh, okay, we don't have to actually take this down to 1 second."
Yeah, I just feel like that's something like Belichick would probably do, like
Make
not
him
call
take
it
the
the first
snap.
one, but then make us kick it on the last one. But I don't know.
Make them take the snap. Make them do it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's a little bit weak sauce not to, I think, to be honest with you. But whatever. That's fine. That's okay. We'll take the win.
I agree with you.
Hey, do you
Just
remember?
so everyone's aware, tickets right now for the 49ers game are under $700. So
Get them now.
Yeah,
cheaper than in Detroit.
I can fly there and go to the game for less than it would have cost for the tickets in Detroit. Now, when you're looking at lodgings, that takes it to a whole new stratosphere.
No, Levi's got a room, bro. Don't worry about it. Let's face it. Levi's place is a flop house. Levi, don't get mad. Oh man. Yeah, no, that's it's killing me. Like, this is one of the hardest parts during the season of, like, when I go to the games and that kind of stuff, that it gets really difficult to do a post-game show. And this is one of the most fun shows, is talking to everybody and hanging out and doing the thing. Just enjoy it so much. And like, there could be credentialed for the Super Bowl. Like,
I know.
I don't want to go if the Lions are there. I know it sounds dumb, because I want to go to the Super Bowl and see two teams I don't care about.
Brother, I will go.
Okay. I might be late on that one.
Most likely. Well, okay. When we three-peat,
yes,
2026 Super Bowl, when we're on our third one, get me in for that one.
I'm in for number 2 or number 3, whatever. But like the first one, I can't. Like, I need to be around my people. You know what I mean? I can't be around 80,000 strangers. It'll be an amazing party. It'll be a great time, but it's so personal with the Lions. Yep. You know what I mean? And that's where I totally get the folks that want to go be there and want to experience that moment. I get it. And I power to you. I totally understand. But like for me, it's been the Lions are family, right? They say football is family. They are. They're and part, my family, the show, the people here are part of the family, right? We've been doing this for ages. It's just it's great. Just sleep on the streets like everyone else in San Fran. No,
I'm with you, Chris. Like when some people want to ask, like, where are you going to watch the Lions first Super Bowl whenever they get there? And I want to be home, like in the Slack, like on Twitter, like watching the game, like texting back and forth with my friends. You can't do that. Like when you're at the game, it's so hard with that many people and all the stuff going on. So like, I'm with you. Like I need to be in my zone, in my den watching the game.
Yep. Yeah. There's that thing. It's the connect. Cheapest Super Bowl tickets are $7,500, and that probably sits you in the Bellagio. It's not even the stadium.
Yep.
Oh, Matt, what do you think, Matt? Are we doing this in San Fran?
You know what? Debo's banged up, and we saw what happened to that team when Debo didn't play in the middle of the season. They lost 2-3 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is a completely different offense without Debo out there. And I mean, I don't know his status for next week, but the way he kind of came off the field and was hobbling, it didn't look great. So I don't know. I saw opening line as like 6.5 or 7. I don't know. The Lions have just been playing close games all year. They haven't been blown out, like except that Ravens game. They haven't blown out all year. So I feel like it's going to be close and anything can happen. Purdy's made mistakes down the stretch here. He's thrown some really bad picks. He should have been picked off a couple times in that game Saturday. So get some pressure on him, make some picks, and like things can turn quick.
Hey, Matt, your match just got hit. Ben just dropped 200 on St. Jude.
Perfect. I'm gonna hop as soon as I get off this phone. I'll go right to it. So
awesome. Thank you, Ben. Ben with a great shotgun and a beer last week. Oh, another 25 from Brian J. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's. I think we match up really, really well against them. The problem, Debo, you start thinking about the idea of like a mobile quarterback. Debo kind of gives you that problem, but he doesn't have to start behind center. Yeah. And him being somewhere is good, especially because our corners, that's the spot that we can be.
Here's the thing though. We keep giving up 150, 200 yards to wide receiver 1 and then nothing.
That's true.
To anybody else.
That's true.
You know what I mean? If you only get 200, if you only get 300 passing yards on the Detroit Lions, you're probably not going to win that game.
You're right.
It's the weirdest thing.
It's a different way to think about football. If I'm going to go really quick over here, look at this. If I think they're Cade Otton, the tight end, was the second highest receiver, was 65 yards. Mike Evans, 147. There you go.
That's every week.
Crazy.
That's almost every week.
And you look at the Lions, not one 100-yard player on the team.
Yep.
Amon-Ra was the best at 77 yards, but there's all kinds of yardage spread out across. God, what a team, man. And that's it. Team, right?
Yep.
Iffy. I'm going to say,
saw that coming. Well, okay, actually, I saw that coming, but no other human being on this planet saw that coming. Every beat writer told me I was wrong. Every single one of them, and I was like, "Nah, dude is not the same guy that he's been." And man, it's every once in a while, I love being the blind squirrel who catches a nut.
If he's the 2023 James Houston. That's iffy.
There you go.
Yep. Like who knows if he's a starting safety forever, but in this role they're using him in right now, he is the perfect guy.
I feel like I now have to, this is the wrong way to put it, but I just have to let go of any concerns I have about Broderick Martin at this point.
Yep.
Because there's probably something there that I don't see that Holmes does and Coach does, and he's there, and suddenly he's going to pop out and it's going to be like, oh, he was all that time. It's going to be the same thing as if he had the hurt, and then he's just so good out there right now. I mean, that questionable call on, and I don't want to call it questionable, They questioned it on the broadcast about iffy on the pass interference. I was like, if anyone throws a flag on that, I'm going to go find Hitchens from Dallas. I'm going to drag him in there, and I'm going to remember Bam Bam from the Flintstones? Bam, 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 bam. I was just going to start swinging his body from side to side and say, do you remember this? Do you remember this?
Yep. Well, and that's in the Slack chat. That's what I said about that. I was like, that receiver, Mike Evans, just made the exact same mistake Pettigrew did. Where like, if you stop and the guy runs into you, that's pass interference all day.
Yep.
You know, but if you just keep backpedaling and try to, then it's not going to get called because he didn't touch you.
Yeah. Mike Evans is a really interesting cat. I know we talked about the possibility of him being on the market earlier in the year. He's super talented, but there's something missing. Do you know what I mean? There's something missing from his game, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but he's missing that top, like, he's good. He's
not
really
fast
good.
at
He's
all.
not going to be great. He's just not great.
He's just going to be really, really good every year forever. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if he played for 20 years, he would have 20,000 yards receiving.
Yeah. All right,
that's
Matt,
just who he is.
Matt, we're going to roll out. The calls are still doing their thing. We're going to grab to the next one, all right?
100%, man. Thanks for the shout outs. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Listen to you guys.
All right,
Take care.
We'll see you. Matt used to work at SpaceX.
Someday I will taste the bourbon.
He used to work at SpaceX during COVID, and it was setting me up with a tour once COVID was over, and then he went and found a better job and like hurt my soul because I really want. I'm a nerd. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where you at? 0 to Frank.
Hey, man, my name's Alex. I'm a hard 0 right now. I've been getting over a cold this weekend.
It's a hard C in that
from
0.
Los Angeles.
Oh, LA. What part of LA?
So right now we're in Encino, the beautiful land of the valley.
Encino, man. Yeah, that's right. I was a Thousand Oaks cat.
Oh, wow. Just down 101. Okay.
Yeah.
I've only ever been to LA once. That's where I was hanging out.
Yeah. It's a good place, man. I had to leave because things got tight in Detroit right before the 2008 crash. That's what forced me out. There was just nothing available, and I never wanted to leave. But once I was gone, it was like I couldn't find the right thing to get back. So here we are. Anyway, how you doing, man? How's life in Encino today as a Lions fan?
It's incredible, man. I've been so excited with this season. I got engaged to my fiance this year, and on top of that, it's been one of the best seasons to be a Lions fan. Just thank you. She is now an honor. She's become a Lions fan. She, at first out, she watched the Hard Knocks last year, was into it, watching the games. I do want to say a big thank you to Ash, because as the weeks have progressed, she goes, hey, can you send me those podcasts where he talks about the offense and defensive ones? Because she, being a clinical researcher, she's been doing her homework. And Ash, you have made her a smarter fan than I.
Wow.
Well, that's good. I'm a gateway drug. Like, the thing is, there is no end to the depth of this. I have to stop myself at times because, like, I joke about analytics stuff and yada yada yada, but I do also have subscriptions to literally everything. You know what I mean? I want all the data points all the time. You know what I mean? And that's what my opinions are always based on. Like, when I started doing the dailies, like, I think I had a conversation with Chris where I was like, man, like, these guys in the Slack chat, like, it's like they think their opinion is as valid as mine. And I don't understand it.
Wow.
And like, that's a super arrogant thing to say, but like, the thing is, like, I do spend almost $1,000 a year on, subscriptions to various things. So you know what I mean? I have a lot of
grateful for your investment.
Hey,
well, it finally started paying a little bit of dividends this year.
let me ask you, on your clinical research, your wife, what kind of research does she do?
Yeah.
Or fiance,
So
sorry.
she does a bunch of different clinical trials. Right now, she's working on an Alzheimer's one.
Nice.
To make sure, all of our older fans don't forget about this season.
That's good.
She's also doing some work, I think, with flu right now. She's all over the place. She's actually flying out this week to start checking on our site. So
nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention the company or no?
No, I don't think I can.
Okay, good. That's fair. That's fair. No, that's all good. It's a tight place. It's a tight
I hear
industry.
that. My wife had to get security clearance at a military place to do the stuff she's doing right now.
Oh,
so-
God.
That's what I was talking about with the guy in Kenya last year, the diplomat, as I make little jokes about it. You can't even like give the appearance that you might be non-compliant, because if you do, that's what I talk about with the officials all the time, right? And the same in the nuclear industry. You can't even have the appearance that you might be non-compliant, because then you're non-compliant. It's really, really tight, crazy stuff. I want to let you know.
Yes.
Sorry, I saw something funny in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the window and I'll hit it up in a second. But nope, can't. Never mind. Sorry. I was waiting for clearance to be able to announce this. Congratulations on your engagement. That's all I'll say. More to come in the future.
Okay.
It's all disjointed now. In the chat, Chris, you might want to reduce your window size and increase Ash's. His head barely fits with all the knowledge. Oh man. All right. So with your hard Z0 from 0 to Frank, caller. What was your favorite part of the game today? What was the part of the game that you would have walked in and said, I called that before the game started?
So I wish I could say I called that, but what I will say, I would have never called the insane run game we were able to establish against this team. But that Gibbs run, my fiance was screaming louder than I was. And I was like, yep, I made the right call. I made the right call. This woman was jumping on our couch, going nuts. And it was just, she even said, she's like, after that Cowboys game, she's like, I'm 100% a Lions fan. She's like, Detroit versus everybody. She's 100% in.
It's easy to get on board.
Dude, don't let her watch TV. Don't let her know that you scammed her. All right. Like, you got a good one. Hold on tight. Like, if you can accelerate that date, just lock it in before she can realize what kind of a mistake she's making.
Oh, trust me, she knows. She absolutely knows. I think that's why she said yes. She's like, this guy will go through thick and thin and stay by your side. So
I think
I've established my commitment.
Exactly how I got in.
That's a good thing. Lions fans have like that relationship cred, right? If you want somebody that's going to hang on for dear life and for their life, get a Lions fan.
Yeah, I'm not just going to go find someone else when things start going poorly.
Oh no, you'll never get rid of me.
And I'm just telling you, boys, if you haven't tried it, bite that kneecap next time you're in the bedroom. I'm telling you, it's a whole erotic zone you haven't even thought of, my friend.
Nice.
Matt's asking, what's the St. Jude DLP specific link? It is stjude.org/DLP. Get you hooked up. You can give a little juice to our friends at St. Jude and those get those kids better, take care of their families while they're doing that. What else you got for us, caller?
Oh shit, man! I just want to say thank you, guys. I think I don't, like I said, I don't know if we want to get Ash's head any bigger so he can't fit in the screen anymore. But you guys have been great, Chris. I just thank you guys for everything. I love this. I love being able to call in, and we've got a great win like this. I cannot believe we are literally advancing to the NFC Championship.
Crazy.
We're flying up to Vegas because we found our new favorite Lions bar. There's some great ones in LA, but I will say in Vegas, it's called the Flowing Tide Pub. So yes, that's FTP for short. Yes, they have that short written everywhere. It is, if you are missing the Midwest and you live in Vegas, and I don't even set this thing up, go to the Flowing Tide Pub. We will be there. I'm holding on my ticket I bought 2 weeks ago for them to make the NFC Championship. And if they pull it off, I'm going to have a hell of a Super Bowl party. And I just want to say thank you, man, because I'm doing the same thing. I'm bringing my brother out. We're not paying $16,000 to have 2 nosebleed tickets to the Super Bowl. We're going to be at my place in LA to ring it in with the people that have just struggled together the longest. So just thank you guys. You are the best. It's something else I get to look forward to after a win is calling in here. So just thank you guys and continue to do the great work that you do.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Good luck. Go get it. And then in the chat, they're saying that there is only Malone's. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where you at? From 0 to Frank.
This is UP Tom.
UP Tom.
Oh, buddy.
I was called a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, 63 years old, 93 in Uper years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Yeah. I'm feeling great. You know, I got a little. I'm feeling great.
You got to turn it down in the background. I think it's getting a little caught in the loop, brother.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
And what it was like I got another story for you.
I love a story.
Is that last week I went down to see my daughter in the Detroit area because I worked at her. I live in the UP now, and she had Red Wing tickets.
Yeah.
And then she found somebody that had Lions tickets, so I ended up going to the game last Sunday, and that was excellent. It was the greatest game in the world for me. It was one thing on my bucket list. I never thought I would get into a playoff game, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy cow! And so hold on, because how many playoff games have you been to in your life for the Lions?
I was the last one that Packers beat us right at the last in '94.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
to
walk in then, and so you've this is your only playoff victory game that you've been able to walk in on, and you just stumbled into it. How did you feel walking out of Ford Field that night?
It was excellent. It was just I didn't give a care. I just wanted to see a good game, and they did. And everybody at the end of the game when I was looking at it, and then I looked back, they were crucifying the defense. But them L.A. receivers were excellent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And how's our bridge quarterback doing?
A heck of a bridge.
He's the Big Mac.
Sometimes the bridge is there for a couple hundred years, you know?
Mm-hmm. I never could understand a lot of people. I was watching it, last 3 years, and I said, how can you call him a bridge? They didn't take him to be a bridge. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was just crazy, especially with the drafts and stuff. But I think we're going to have an excellent quarterback for a backup. I love Hendon Hooker,
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the chat we had with him at Senior Bowl last year, he is a genuinely wonderful person underneath his talent. Incredible dude. I really, this is a Lions theme, the character of the players that they get. Hendon Hooker is an absolutely fantastic individual. I have a lot of confidence that he has everything it takes to be.
I was watching him in Tennessee before he got hurt, and I said, if Lions ever had a chance to draft him, they should. That's the way I felt. I didn't care about anybody else, but and to get him in the fourth round?
Yep.
Third round?
Third.
Third round.
Yeah, and hurt like that or something like that, I said, that's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because golf is not guaranteed it's going to be healthy like he's been, really.
Right.
So if you got a really good quarterback in back of him, anything could happen.
And the thing about Goff that I like with Hooker can run the Goffense. You know what I mean? He can step in and has the skills to do that. But he also adds, I don't want this to happen. I'm not so please don't put this mojo out there. But if something happens to Jared, maybe he wins the lottery. I don't know how that could change anything for him, but he wins the lottery and says, I'm done with football. I'm going to go take my beautiful wife, go to retire on the island that I bought. And thanks a lot, Detroit. I love you, but I'm done, right? Okay, Hendon's there. Yeah. You can start Hendon, but you can evolve the offense a lot with him and suddenly put a whole new set of wrinkles on top of it that will just confuse the shit out of your competition. I really like the ability to evolve over time from Jared into Hendon if required, or if that's the choice in the direction they take.
When I called, I always got to have a question for Ash.
Good plan.
Okay, Ash, what is this offense? Because it's not the West Coast offense, right?
It's not the Air Coryell. It's not the run and shoot. Yeah. It's all of those things.
Yeah. It's more of Johnson's, isn't it?
Johnson power.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is unique.
It's a hybrid of everything that works.
Yeah. Which is unique, isn't it, you think?
Yeah. Well, there's a reason I don't go into specific plays that they're going to call, because like I literally have no idea.
Okay.
You know, it could be anything. I'm like, they're going to try to stress the safeties. There's 17 different ways you can do that. They're going to pick 3 of them, and that's what they're good. That's the offensive game plan this week.
Yeah. But McVay's was more of a Shanahan's office, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which is like, that's all based on, old Shanahan, which was all based on Bill Walsh, which is all like short passes, zone run scheme. That's still pretty much what the Shanahan offense does. And the Lions do all of that. They just also do all of the other things.
Do you think
basically you have to have smart players, not athletic players, is what you need to do that.
Yeah.
That's part of the They still get athletic guys, but that's part of what makes our offensive line so awesome is there are not many guys who have the physical capability to run a power run offense and also a zone scheme offense. We have 6 of them on our roster at the beginning of the year.
How much?
Yeah.
Do you
Does that
think
make sense?
Dan Campbell has a big blueprint in that offense?
Absolutely. The changes that were made the day Anthony Lynn, because that Anthony Lynn was trying to run that West Coast offense zone run scheme. That's all he did. Is he basically just did like a bad version of the McVay offense and was like, well, Jared Goff was in that. He's going to know how to do all of these things. And guess what? There's a reason. Like I said, there's a reason LA did move on from Jared Goff, who he was at that point. And they just tried to port that over, and they didn't have the receivers to do it. They didn't have the offensive line really to do it because of the injuries.
Well,
they
I
had
know
no
they
running
didn't have
backs.
the
They had
receivers.
nothing, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, like they just didn't have the guys to do the thing. So like then they started getting creative. Basically, the second Dan took over, they stopped doing just dumb stuff that was never going to work. It was a night and day difference. You know, they were like, "Oh, okay, our quarterback can't throw the ball this week because he's injured in the first quarter. Okay, cool. We don't have another quarterback that we can put in, so we're just going to run the ball 45 times against the Steelers and get a tie." You know,
but what I really liked about Dan, he said he's going to run the ball, and he has. He's, you know, it's not all the time, but it's consistent. You know, which is great.
Every coach has said that for the last 36 coaches, and not one of them could do it. And Dan is a guy. I saw some guy post a tweet. This is the team that can and will, from Mr. Tweetson. But no, Ash. But that is exactly who these
tweet
guys
after
are.
the game of and did.
But you
More
should
to
have
go,
put
boys.
bitches. You had to put bitches after that.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, hey brother, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for calling in. We're gonna keep rocking through some calls here, okay?
All right, have a good one,
All
both
right.
of you.
Yeah, you too.
God
Rock
bless.
on. God bless. Go Lions.
Go Lions.
All right. There we go. Whew, man, oh man, what a wild ride. I need Debo to be out for this game. He may be. We'll see what's going to go on there. There's a lot going on. Hey, caller, what's your name? And where you at? From 0 to Frank.
Hey, Chris, it's Pat D from the Slack. How you doing, brother?
Pat D! How you doing, my
buddy?
man?
Hey, what's up, Ash? Man, I'm lost for words. This is such a great feeling to, oh man, this is, wow. You know, like this is what we always wanted, right? And here we are. We're sitting here, 2 wins. We haven't had a playoff win in 30 years, and here we have 2 wins. For me, it's crazy because I was born in San Francisco, actually in Marin County and Marin City, and so I grew up until I was 13 around Niner fans, around my dad. Growing up, he married my mom out in San Francisco, and all her brothers are insane Niner fans, but because of my dad, I grew up a Barry Sanders fan. So I remember watching the Niners and them giving all this crap about the Lions, and to come full circle and be like, in order to get the Super Bowl, we have to play the Niners in San Francisco. It's just like, for me, really surreal. So this is crazy. I'm just so excited.
I got 5 words for the Niners. 5 words.
I will beat your ass. What are they? I believe it. I believe it. You guys, when you like watch how Dan's doing it, keep thinking, how did we get through the last 30 years? With like all the other regimes, and how like we always hoped they would get to the promised land, and here we are watching Brad and Dan like put this team together. You're just like, how did we get through the last 30 years hoping?
Yep.
So this is just unbelievable.
Because they made it look
so I
so
just
easy.
wanted to call in.
Go ahead, Ash.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, they make it look so easy. Like you pick good players and you coach them and you win games.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
Yeah, and it's crazy, It's like, I was watching, like my father-in-law's a huge Bama fan, so like I've watched a lot of Bama games over the years, and I watched Brian Branch, and all these guys, and and then they come to Detroit and do the exact same thing they were doing in college, and you're like, wow, that's what was everyone else doing?
Well, that's the thing. They were doing the Patricia. They were trying to make them do something different than they did in college, which is like, what the fuck did you pick them for? Why didn't you pick somebody that did something different if you're going to do something different?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Frank in the chat.
Right.
Frank's in the chat.
What I love the most about the end of the game was how many times over the last 10 years it seems like has a no-name tight end just had a career game for remember that game against the Panthers a couple of years ago, and I don't even remember his name, but like he went off for like 150 yards, and it's like, who is this person? Like, what did he do? And for Matt Barnes to cover somebody, or sorry, not Derek Barnes. Sorry, I have his jersey. What am I doing? Derek Barnes to not only cover some guy perfect to get the game-sealing interception. Like, I don't know. This is just crazy to me,
dude. I want to tell you right now, that catch on that interception was
phenomenal.
It was wide receiver tier.
Yep.
Reach, soft hand grab, pull it in. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely like he was the intended receiver and he's a wide receiver. Wow, Derek Barnes. Wow, you are not supposed.
He was a defensive end in college.
Yeah,
a defensive end in college. It's just crazy to me. I'm just super, man.
Really quick. Sorry, Pat. I want right now. I want Derek Barnes to run that film in front of St. Brown, right next to St. Brown's drop. Because that's his one chance to fuck with my brother, right? That's the one chance.
No, that was so weird. Like some guys, you go alligator arms, but that's not St. Brown. He doesn't do that. So like, it was like, what happened there?
Yeah, just a big old was ist los.
My fandom started the year after, because I was like 11 or something. I don't remember. When we beat Dallas. So I remember watching Dallas win these Super Bowls, and my dad would say, "We beat that team, Pat. We blew that team out." And I'm like, "You're kidding me. We beat Emmitt Smith. We beat Troy Aikman." Yep. Yeah, we did.
Yep.
And so, like, this is the first time that I remember Detroit having success in the playoffs, So this is, huge. But, I just wanted to call in, and this is like the second time I've ever called in. Wanted to say, wow, this is amazing. You guys are great. Ash, every time I listen to you and the DLP stuff, like I come away going, okay, that makes sense. And then I watch the game and I'm like seeing it differently. So it's really cool to take what you're saying in your clips and then like, I remember the Atlanta game, I was like, oh yeah, they're trying to do this. And Ash was saying if they do it this way, we should be all right. And like, it was cool watching how after your breakdown, everything was coming kind of to fruition the way that you were saying, and it made a lot more sense. So that was really cool. So
well, Pat,
that was the one I got the most right this year. Thank you, man.
Pat, do appreciate you, man. You've been loud and proud for us, and it's folks like you supporting us means a ton. You're a spectacular dude. I know you've been chasing some demons this year too, man, and love you and everything you do for us.
Oh well, thank you. I just like Chris knows this, but not many people do. Like my dad's got early onset dementia or Alzheimer's, and he doesn't know anything. And one of the reasons why I'm always so loyal to Chris is, and I push the content, is because my dad, he's has night terrors, can't sleep, and for whatever reason, the things that keep him calm are the '97 Michigan games. So we play the Michigan YouTube games for him, and he calms down, and he knows that. And 2011 Stafford games, because he remembers that. And my dad was the one that introduced me to DLP a long time ago. And like, he would watch the originals shows, and that would calm him down. So like, he can't watch the new stuff. If he watches the new stuff, he just keeps asking, where's Stafford? Where's Calvin? I don't understand what's going on. And he starts to realize he should know this, and he gets scared. So like, the DLP old podcast shows actually calm him down and give my mom a break, give me a break, my brother. So like, it means a lot. So, and he gets excited and he likes to listen to it. So that's really why I do it. So I just want to say I'm grateful for you guys, and your show is awesome, and everything you do for St. Jude is really amazing. So that's
appreciate
it.
you, Pat.
Thanks, guys.
One day Dad's going to get, one day he's going to get it. And that championship's going to be there, and it's going to be awesome, man.
Thank you, brothers. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, Pat. We'll see you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Have a good one.
We'll see you. All right, man. Big Pat D. Good cat. Good cat.
Yeah, good dude.
Hey, caller. What's your name and where you at on the 0 to Frank scale?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah, you're beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Chris. My name is Joe. I'm from Atlanta.
Atlanta. What are you going to do with Belichick down there?
Hey, man. Yeah, that's not official. So let's put that in the universe, okay? No, it's not happening.
A lot of not press conferences.
Man, I'm just so pumped. I'm so pumped, man. I'm originally from Michigan. Moved down to Atlanta about 6 years ago. Just pumped for this win.
Yeah, hey, bud, your phone sounds like really tough. It's kind of hard to make out what you got going on. You maybe
it's fading in and out.
Try calling back if you would. All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks, brother. We'll see you. Hate that. It's the modern day.
There.
The modern era of cell phones. We got 5G spots for you. We can't hit any of them.
No. Still don't know where they are. Not even sure they're real.
Yeah,
that's a myth.
That's the home of AT&T there in Atlanta. They don't want that sponsorship. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you at from 0 to Frank? Hello? Womp, womp, womp. Okay.
I close my eyes.
Well, with that, why don't we close the show? We've done a lot. We've had a big day. This is the second Lions playoff victory in history. I forgot to tell everybody, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate when they do that. You help the show a lot when we get that. But thank you, everybody. This is the first time the Detroit Lions in their history have won a second playoff game. We've done it. We've done it together. We've done it with a great team, a great coaching staff, great front office, and as fans, we've stuck it out. A lot of new fans jumping on, and that's okay. We know who we are.
Welcome.
Folks that have been around, we know who we are.
The water's nice and warm.
Yeah, and it ain't because Ash peed in it.
Well,
it's warmer around Ash, but it's still warm.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little purple. It's a little purple in my vicinity, but you know.
Just wait till the draft party. Man, all right. This is great. I think this is our low point game of the playoffs. I think the Detroit Lions have a lot to come out of into San Fran. San Fran is going to be a knock 'em down because San Fran came out of 2 weeks of bye, barely stumbled past the FTPs. It's going to be a heck of a game next week. This matchup is going to be fantastical. And Jeff and I will be doing this with Ash. I think we're going to make all this work from Mobile as we get ready to kick off the Senior Bowl.
It's going to be easier if you don't try to dial me in on that. Like, logistically speaking, I'm not going to be insulted if you guys do that one without me, since you're doing it from a hotel.
We'll figure it out. We got
it works great.
We got like 2 gigabit internet from the conference center, so we may be able to put something together. We'll figure this thing out. Actually, no ins, no outs.
47 other people. Yep.
Yeah. Either way, we'll get you called in for sure, at least. All right.
Yep.
With that, Risden's alive. He's in the chat. Got to give him a love hug. Riz, it's 2 playoff games, buddy. We did it. Don't forget about us on Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. You get access to the Slack chat if you donate as little as $5 a month. It is the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. Focus, The in-game live chat is fantastic. Everything that's going on. If you're the Slack, that's a great place to be. Also follow us on Twitter at DET Lions Podcast, DET Lions Podcast. We're pants free all the time. And that's where you get the announcements of the show. Not as much info as Slack, but you get to know what's going on, when we're going to go live, which players we're interviewing at the Senior Bowl, all that kind of stuff. Good stuff. So get us followed there. Also call us on Skype at Detroit Lions Podcast, or call us on the Lions line, 248-782-8384, 248-RUB-UFUG. And be sure to go to Detroit Lions Podcast, subscribe to the podcast. What happens when they subscribe to the podcast, Ash? Daily, something happens.
Daily, I show up and talk like this automatically.
Can you get your head a little closer to fill the whole screen? That's why. So this is just for folks that were wondering about this. That's why the box is there. It's like when you grow the watermelon in a square, you just keep it. It only fits to its environment. Yeah. It's perfect. Ash can't get
My
bigger
head is
than
like
this.
a fish in a tank. They adapt to the size. That's how that works.
Thank you for
telling me
tuning
I'm
in.
awesome. I'm gonna believe it.
Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time with the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, no playoff losses this
problem.
year.
Oh,
no problems, because we're your Detroit Lions and Reddit Connection. Two more folks.